back to the 2022 Shadow Era World Championships, streaming now live with me, your host, Paul Vato, and my co-host, Insano Mango. We are back for another week of exciting card-dropping excitement here live. It's been a week, and I've been so excited. I've been looking forward to this stream all week. We've got some great coverage. It's the finals. Are we going to crown a champion today, or what, Insano Mango?
Yeah, I think the only question is to see how quickly it happens. This way we can both get some breakfast and maybe some sleep.
Yeah, and I hear that you got a new bottle of scotch cracked open, so I'm sure you're anxious to get to that.
Oh, I left it. Where did I leave it?
Come on!
Oh, man.
I wanted to see what you were drinking for breakfast.
Oh, yeah, that's right. It is breakfast. People were getting back. Yeah, except for that one guy that's a total bronco. You know, it was actually not bad.
El borracho. Yeah, exactly. Oh, my goodness. But yeah, what an exciting development we've had just with all the people that have made it to the finals. Whose games are we watching today?
Well, we're gonna start off with seeing who's in the winners bracket still. Remember, we don't care if we call them losers brackets here. They are right. Winners and losers. So the winners bracket, there's going to be BP Emigor and BT Sigismund. We got a little bit of a late start, so they have already completed a game. We're still getting the whole broadcast set up real quick. And so a few more minutes. I think it's a good time to just speak about the state of the game. Anybody who's playing the game right now has got to experience the brand new card release, Agnar. Have you got to play with that yet or play against it?
I've played against it and it destroyed me. So yeah, no thanks. I don't like it. Screw you, Agnar. And I can't buy anyone. There are none in the merchants. So I was going to ask, what's the best way to pull a card or get a card, or how can I get Agnar? Because yeah, I did not like it at all.
Honestly, it is a legendary card, so there's not much of them out there. So it's the highest rarity that there is in Shadow Era. And the only way to really get it is through the campaign packs. But if you have been playing the monthly challenge, so what is there? How many more days are there left in February? Only a few, right? Let me see.
A few more days, yeah.
Yeah. So, I mean, this is the best way. Yeah, no, the best way to do it, honestly, is to try to grind out some wins with the 40 to 41 card deck, because for every 25 wins, you get one pick a card. And what a pick a card is, for the people that won't know that happen to come across this, you get to choose a card by its designated fingerprint, its number, and you get the foil version of it. And so that saves you from having to spend any kind of in-game or real-world currency on acquiring these. And it's only for the remaining of February that this works. So you would go into Rated with a deck that's 40 cards plus hero and win as many games as you can. Maybe, hopefully you can get 50 wins out of the way in the next 2 days, and then at least you'd be able to get 2 Agnar in that way.
I already have like 91 wins. So
oh yeah, so just 9 more, and then you can get your set of 4.
What is the fingerprint? What is the digital fingerprint of Agnar, or how do I find out what it is?
The card number is somewhere on the main screen. Well, when you log in, there's a rotating banner on the home screen.
Yes.
And it says on there like Age of Agnar, and if you read the text, the card number is on there. We'll try to get it while the stream is going. I don't know it offhand.
Oh, great. Because I think I have like hundreds of pick a cards, 100 maybe, just from the years that I've never cashed them in, and maybe I've already even lost some. I don't know if they roll over year to year or how that happens, because I never realized. I'm such an idiot. I never realized that was part of the game. So I had no idea. I was like, how do I collect these cards? And then I just never bothered to ask, because I was just so focused on just using one hero that I never even realized I could go in there and get these foil versions, which adds a whole other level to the game. You see, folks, you don't even have to spend any money to get these legendary cards, these foil cards. I mean, it's amazing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in there and pick a card, and I'm going to go back to my 41 card deck and get my 100 wins. Because I'm pretty close. I'm right there. If I'm not at 91, I'm close to it. So, if somebody will let me win 9 or 10 more times, I can have my set of 4, because that's the most you can put in a deck. Is that correct? Up to 4 cards.
Yep, usually? 4 cards, and yeah, pick a card are not easy to come by, and so we'll call him the manager of Balor, being able to give these out to people just for playing the game is actually a very nice perk. I mean, the one guy I think has like 600 wins, so he's gonna foil up as a good portion of his collection. Maybe not as much as you would think, but hey, he's still putting in a lot of work, and he's gonna have a nice, pretty deck, or at least one nice, pretty deck, probably to show for it.
Wonderful, yeah. You know me, I like to go in there raw dog with no foils,
no mats, no sleeve, no foils,
like a Tijuana style, dirty.
Man,
so,
you don't know you don't know what's out there in the world. You don't know what you're diving into, but you don't care. You're like,
I don't care. But I will tell you, not that this is about me, but maybe it is a little bit, but I've been having so much fun using other decks, maybe not winning, I never win as much anyways, but using other decks, exploring really the game deeper. So this has been a godsend, being able to co-host these championships with you, Mango. And let me tell you also about the community. Emigor, now I don't feel so bad. I drew him in round 1. So he destroyed me. But it's such a nice way that I didn't mind. And everybody was like, ooh, you drew Emigor? They're like, he's really, really good. I mean, he could take this whole championship. But now I don't feel so bad losing so decidedly to him. But let me tell you, he walked me through the process of how to set the games up, because you come in with 4 decks. They tell you they'll ban one of your decks, you ban one of theirs, and you do it simply by entering the first game with the deck of theirs that you want banned. So he was gracious enough to walk me through that process and the whole tournament structure. Granted, I think he knew he was going to win, so he's like, "Yeah, let me help out this dummy so that we can get this game over with." But he was nothing but gracious, and I think most of the community is like that. Rarely do you run into somebody that's a troll or not a good person. So I just want to shout out to Emigor, and I'm sure he's doing very well here in the championships. He might take the whole thing, and I wouldn't be mad at that because, yeah, I was upset that I drew him in round 1 and didn't even have a chance, but he's really, really good.
Well, speaking of, we go ahead and watch him. So we are going to be watching BP Emigor playing a hero you know very well against BT Sigismund, who is running Zana, which is always a tough matchup with the tidal waves coming in and washing away everything you worked so hard for.
Wonderful. Are we seeing it on the screen here? Yes. Is it coming out?
Yep, this should be it. Not quite there yet.
Okay.
There we go. We're in.
Beautiful.
Okay, and so what do we have? So, in case, let me see. Heart Striker. Nope, I got to change a few things on my end for something. Let me see. Let's see. Go ahead, Vato. What's up?
Yeah, no. So this game has already taken place, I'm guessing, right? Like, not that long ago?
It is currently in play at the moment.
Oh, it is. Okay, so we are watching it as close to live as possible. No spoilers, folks, but I think we're good game.
Yep, it seems like it might be over, but we'll kind of watch it through and see how things transpired.
Was he being a smartass by going good game? Meaning
no, I have 52. There's no way.
Game is over?
Oh, I think he said 60.
No. So that would be a reasonable charge.
4, 8, 10.
Vato, do you hear that?
I do. I hear our producer.
Yeah, he's crying.
We hear John. John, I think, is on the stream.
I just muted him on our Discord server. Folks, join us on Discord, join us on Twitch, join us on our Facebook and on our YouTube. And I had I got to tell you, Insano, I had quite a few compliments throughout the week about our hosting and what we do. So I felt very good about that.
Great. I did get some feedback as well, and it was mostly positive. There was some people wishing a little more focus on the technical aspect, and I think that's what I'm going to have to do today, is a little more of a pivot towards explaining what's actually happening, and actually giving a heads up on what Sigismund decided to do in this tournament, and that is have 4 heroes, and every hero he is using Outlaw, the Outlaw deck. So he has basically almost the same ally setup in every hero, and he is just abusing the consistency that Outlaws have showcased, in not just in the tournament, but in the weeks leading up to it, months leading up to it. And wow, okay, so here I think I just saw an exaltation played on that reactor area, or on the bottom or foreground of the screen, pumping it up to 7-8. But all this haste doesn't matter. Boom, and that big ally is gone. And just like that, Elementalis, I'm sure, even through your own experiences against these kind of decks, this deck in particular with Outlaws coming in with haste, it just doesn't last very long.
I gotta get on that tip, because those Outlaws with the haste is it's such a powerful deck. Look at that. Just destroying whatever you throw out there. I'm having panic attacks and flashbacks and a little PTSD.
Just watching it.
I can't watch anymore.
Yeah, it's pretty tough, man. But I mean, that's why.
Yeah.
Whew, that's why people play it. You know, that reason right there is exactly why people play that. Not even just that deck, but that setup of allies, because they know that eventually they're going to get to a point in the game where they're just throwing them at you 1, 2, 3 at a time, recycling one. And I mean, for the people that don't know how it works, it's pretty simple. There is an artifact that's called Hideout for 3 cost, that when you put it in play, that is your main draw engine. And then every time you summon, or every time you send an Outlaw ally back to your deck, as you get to draw a card twice per turn, or every time your deck is shuffled, sorry. And so anytime you shuffle your deck, you get to draw a card. And the effects that do that is, there's multiple. There's Unstable Gateway, I think, allows you to shuffle your deck. There is the Distortion Harness, which is a armor that allows you to seek or pull a location from your deck, and then you shuffle your deck. The Caravan Smuggler, which allows you to shuffle a card from your hand into your deck. So right there, it's just, and then that basically draws you 2 cards. And so there's just this constant cycle. So even though you suck your own allies back into your deck, it doesn't matter, because they're almost going back just as fast, just because you're just cycling through your deck so quickly. And I mean, once you get to the correct setup, it doesn't matter if you fall a little bit behind, because unless your opponent has specific counters on the board for it, you're likely just going to make a comeback in the end.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's such a quick deck. And, a lot of these words that you're saying mean almost absolutely nothing to me, because I've not taken the time to memorize all the names of the hero, of the cards, because as you know, for 5-6 years, all I did was play one hero. And even I didn't even know what cards I had in my deck, because my brain is full of other things. But that's the fun part of this game. You don't even have to be a very smart person, such as myself, to enjoy the game. So forgive me for not knowing, but thank you so much for explaining them, because I think it's also such an important part of the game, and it does make it more fun, because now every time I play a card, I read it and I try to say, okay, this is what this is. Because if I'm going to do this, I should probably know the names of the cards. So full disclosure, folks, I know people are out there like, why is this dummy doing commentary when he doesn't even know? But it's because I have such a great co-host, Insano Mango, or he's the host, I'm the co-host, that he knows all this technical stuff. So I think it's beautiful to hear you say that and the names and what these cards do. So thank you for sharing that with people that may not be up to speed with all these technical names. Thank you, Insano.
Anytime. So I think we'll go ahead and we're going to.
I think Insano froze for just a second, but we're going to go on with the next game, which is on deck. And I believe it's also somewhat live. And I'm guessing who is the next. Oh, you know what? I should probably be reading my texts as to who is the next game. We have TJ Dub up there and RSAT King.
Oh God, the food is so far away.
Welcome back. You actually were frozen or not on, so if you said anything, we missed it. Insano. Who do we have up next?
Well, we're going to be staying with BP Emigor and Sigismund. They're the two guys in the winners bracket, the only ones left on the winner's side of the bracket, and so we're going to go ahead and be watching those guys. And then after that, the rest of the action is going to be down in the loser side, because that's where the last 5 remaining players are trying to fight their way through the double elimination format to make their way back to the top. I don't know if this is actually the first year we've done a double elimination. Before it was single elimination, and so it would be a matter of you lose one time, you're done. And so, yeah, we should be jumping in just shortly to Sigismund and Emigor. And we'll see again how good old Sigismund has just decided, you know what? I'm going to abuse the hell out of these outlaws because they've been bad, bad boys.
And again, check out BT Sigismund, their cards, the playing mat. It's just beautiful artwork, man. It's dark, it's fantasy, it's everything that you want in a card game.
Yep, again, that is a custom mat. Both of these guys have custom mats and sleeves. I really like Emigor's, the one in the foreground, the blue, I don't know, some kind of assassin wing. Oh, well, here we go. You know what? I don't want to get lost too much in the conversation, but you saw right there BT Sigismund playing down that 3-cost artifact, and he was able to shuffle the outlaw ally back into his deck, and then the cards started flowing. So you'll see that a lot every time. Caravan Smuggler, there he goes, picks a card to shuffle into the deck, draws a card, and then draws a card from the effect of the item, and it's just non-stop like that. You just go. There's no brakes on this deck, man. No speed other than 100, 0 to 100.
That's what you need. You need. It's crazy. It's so crazy fast, and you need that. You need what they call a draw engine, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I mean, you need an ability to cycle cards. You need an ability to get cards on the deck, so it just works flawlessly.
And the Victor deck is not something that you see very often. I actually have access to all the decks. I'm looking at them right now, behind the scenes information, and I'm trying to see. It looks like his main sort, or what he's looking to do, is really just get to his big guns. He's got a couple of big allies, and it looks like in the beginning part of the game, he really wants to just slow down the opponent with some abilities, Poison Arrow, Snare Trap. A Snare Trap is perfect. It's a 2-cost trap card that actually mitigates a big part of this deck because most of its allies are 3-cost or less. And whenever you play an ally with cost 3 or less into a Snare Trap, woo, right off the screen, gone. Can't recycle it, doesn't go to the grave, it's out of the game, exiled.
Exiled and gone. You don't get to use it anymore with a Snare Trap. And I'm sure he's running a few other traps, I'm guessing.
Yeah, he has the Camouflage Foe as well. Mm-hmm. I mean, none of this is a secret anymore. People have watched these games throughout the beginning of the tournament here. I don't think I'm sharing any trade secrets here at all. But the Camouflage Foe is a trap card you play for 3 cost, and then when your opponent summons an ally, it will actually proc the trap card. Doesn't kill the ally, doesn't exile it, but it turns into an ally and actually will deal damage to the opponent's ally that's summoned. Hopefully we'll get to see an example of that. Right now it looks like Victor is just doing work with his weapons. I mean, he had a Weevil crossbow out, which actually reduces the durability of a weapon. Durability, you can just consider it life points on an armor or a weapon. And if you look at Tala in the foreground here, you see a sword. The highlighted 2 number is the attack value, and then the 1 number on the bottom right-hand margin is actually its life counter. We'll just call it its durability, but you can call it its life counter. So it's got one more use, one more swing in it. And here you go, see Poison Arrow. That's one of his control options, and he was able to play it in conjunction with the Bobcat. Whenever you play a hunter item or ability with the Bobcat, it gives it haste and ambush. So he's kind of giving the Tala a taste of its own medicine with that haste ambush. Say, eat this. I can play this just as well as you can.
This is such an exciting game. They're going back and forth, and they are at 22 and 23 life. So it's close, but then all of a sudden it seems like then at a drop of a hat it could switch and bam, bam, bam. You know, you're down to nothing before you know it.
Yeah, and that's a great thing about this too, right? Is that this Victor deck seems to be built pretty solidly for this matchup. I mean, the snare traps to help get rid of those small cost allies, the camouflage foe trap so it deals damage to them right when they come in. It deals 2 damage on average, and that means it would actually kill the 1 ally, the 2/2 ally Dalton, this one right here. So if he happened to have the camouflage foe, it would have killed that ally immediately. And then you got the poison arrow to disable things, and it's actually a pretty solid deck. Oh, okay, but here comes the big boy, and all of a sudden that's 6 damage to the face. That ally, I'm not going to bother going into really what it is. Just know every time there's allies on the board with abilities, he gains that ability. And so he's a big cat, he's a big summon, and he can do a lot of work right away.
That is such a strong ability, because if another ally has haste, right, he gains haste. If another ally has a shroud, he would gain shroud, I'm guessing. So it is such a powerful, character there. That is tough. And
then for each ability he gains, he gets +1 attack too. So he's like, all right, I'll take some of what you got. I'll take some of what you got, you, and then he's just like, goes Hulk on you, and you got nothing. You got nothing you can do about it. Ooh, defender. All right. So Igor got some draw. He was able to Slithering Viper. So again, another control card on his end. He played that, and I believe it's the highest opposing ally attack value represented gets poisoned and disabled. So he was able to play the Viper to shut down the big boy, and then take out the Dalton to gain some heal and some draw. But the only thing is, this guy has Protector, so you're not going to really be able to get past him to kill that little weenie guy. And you still got you got another 2 turns before you get your ability to be able to bring him down to 1 health. So, and again, Victor's ability for new people, it doesn't do damage. It reduces the health value of the opposing ally. So if the ally has a base health value of 7, it makes that health value 1. So you can't recover that. That health value is essentially reduced to a maximum of 1. And then when that ally is killed, it does go back to its original base value.
You're not taking damage. Your health is actually reduced to 1, and that's that.
Yeah, it's like turning the Hulk into Bruce Banner.
Lame ass Bruce Banner.
Yeah, nobody likes that guy.
Nobody likes that guy. Just like nobody likes Smart Hulk.
Oh God, yeah. Who likes Smart Hulk? Jeez.
Hulk is Hulk. Don't make him smart. What the?
Yeah, Hulk smash, not Hulk think.
Yeah, Hulk smash. That's right.
So Sigismund is deciding that, you know what, I need to be able to kill this ally. He keeps playing Vipers on me and shutting down my big boy. So he decided to make Dalton a Protector too. So Protector, whenever an ally has Protector, it allows it to effectively be a shield, and so that all other allies cannot be targeted. So Dalton was secure behind the big boy, but unfortunately he needed to take out that ally, because if you look at BT Sigismund's deck size, he's down to 13 cards. Emigor's at 16, but Sigismund has been losing a lot of allies, and he might be close to not having very many options left to close out the game. And another Viper saying, no, you do not get to join in on the action. He turns in a row, 3 Viper, boom, boom. And Kurt, I believe his name is Kurt, has just not been able to do anything. And I bet you that Emigor was holding on to those Vipers specifically because he knew eventually this ally was going to come down, and he wanted to be able to deal with it, or at least keep it in check until his ability was ready.
Those Vipers are something else. They will disable you. They'll disable the ally with the highest attack, I believe. Is that what Viper disables?
That is correct. And then eventually, I think the top card in his graveyard right now is going to be a Viper. So eventually, when his next turn comes around and he decides to use his ability, he's going to pull another Viper back from the grave again. So he's going to be able to use the ability one more time. And I think we should probably, I want to say we're going to see a Visca or a Dragnus. Someone big is going to come in now, because we haven't seen any of those big boy allies from Emigor. Oh, a Rhino.
Stampede deals double the damage.
Yeah, say. Two allies, not to heroes, but to the allies. Yes, when you're attacking.
To the allies, correct? Yes.
And here comes a Viper.
When you're attacking, if it were to defend, no, it'll just deal its normal 2. But if it's attacking, it will deal double damage.
That is correct.
For any size creature.
Yeah, it doesn't care how big or small you are; it's going to step on you just as hard. Mm-hmm. Well, it's a Rhino. I guess it doesn't step on you. It would be doing more of that goring stuff, right? With the big nose.
And that big horn, man. It gives you some horn.
Big horn. That's the life.
Big horn life.
Big horn energy.
Big horn energy. That's the phrase I was looking for.
There we go. And, I mean, I feel like, okay, here we go. He's going to do multiple summons of the little guys. How many does he have left, though? He's got 4 cards in his deck.
4 cards left in the deck, but look at that. He's recycling.
And Emigor is, of course, he already played through his Soul Seeker, so he doesn't have any way to heal. But all of a sudden, look at this, Sigismund. So I'm going to say again, I believe this was calculated. Sigismund keeping a handful of these allies, waiting for this specific moment to swarm the board like this and be able to take control. Though he doesn't have many cards left in his deck, he has full board control, and it's just a matter now of, can Emigor actually take care of all these allies before they ping them down 2 damage at a time? Because this is essentially a 2-turn clock right here. He's only got 16 health. There's 8 damage on the board, and I mean, if he has any other way to increase their damage output, this could get really bad really quick for Emigor. Okay, so there's a Hunter's Gambit to wipe out one of the allies. Again, Hunter's is a health reduction, not damage. So that ally had a base health stat of 2. It got reduced by 2, dead. Hey, look there's the Visca. I'm 1 turn wrong, but it's coming in now. Woo! Sends that guy right off the map. And I think that might have been a good enough response to kind of secure the game for him.
I think so. And that is any ally with 2 or less that is killed is actually exiled because of that card in the middle. What are those called? What is
locations? Yeah, I guess we should have touched on that. Kind of forget that, we've been playing this game for so long, we kind of know what these cards do, but the location does allow your allies, when you play a location, to come in when they're 2 cost or less, and they're able to deal haste, or they will have haste and ambush. And you know what? I was thinking that was a good enough response, but it really wasn't, because Alden the Brave came down and was able to give an attack boost to all the allies. This is game almost. I mean, he's 1 point off from being able to seal the game. And I don't think Emigor has a way to deal with 4 allies in 1 turn. Maybe he can clear off 2, maybe 3. But for the most part, I think this game might have taken a swing right here at the end.
It's definitely been a battle. I hope that people are enjoying it as much as watching it as much as we are doing commentary on it, because it's also such a great learning experience for those that are watching. Now, if somebody wanted to mimic one of these decks, how difficult would that be, or is it now common knowledge out there? Is there a code that we can use to load a deck just like this?
Actually, what we will do, generally after every World Championships, we've always the deck lists, so you will be able to see the deck code, which again I just call it a fingerprint, and we'll probably post it on the forums. But I'm thinking we'll also make it a point to go ahead and put it into the Twitter, into Facebook, into the YouTube, so it'll be everywhere for you to see. You can go see what the deck code is. And then you just copy that deck code, and when you go into the deck builder in the client, you just hit import, and then you input the deck code in, just paste it in, and there you go. As long as you have the cards, it'll load up for you. And again, Emigor making a play, came in with the Soul Seeker bow, killed off an ally, healed some damage. Again with the Viper, shutting down the ally with the highest attack. The Viper is basically MVP of this game. I mean, I feel like he played it 100 times and was just kept saying no. I mean, honestly, it's what even kept him in the game up to this point, because Kurt would have just ran him over if he didn't have Viper ready to play. And look at this. Now BT's Sigismund is down to 2 cards in hand, 2 cards in his deck, which means he's going to start taking damage because he has no cards left in his deck. Every time you draw a card, with nothing in your deck, you get damaged 1 for each card. And with Blood Frenzy in play, that's 3 damage a turn, because you get one damage from the ability itself, the payment of being able to draw an extra card, and then 2 from drawing nothing. So after this next turn, he's going to have nothing going on.
Oh, deep.
This was a mistake. Emigor played the trap first. He should have played the Bobcats first and then the trap. This way, the Bobcats are able to attack.
I think he realized his mistake.
Yeah, I think so too. I don't think it's going to cost him the game.
Shit. Yeah. Shit is the right. He played it backwards. He should have played the allies first, and then the trap to give the allies. You won anyways, XD.
Man, even Vato knows what you did wrong, man. Come on.
You done effed up, boy. It's rarely that Paul Vato gets to say, "Oh, you messed up," because the game's never go this far with me and him.
This moron! I can't believe it.
Played it backwards, and you can always tell by the long pause where he just realized and hung his head in shame. Like, how could I? But that's the thing, though. A lot of times, I think you're just in auto mode. You've played it so long, you know your deck intimately, you know how to play, and then all of a sudden, just a brain fart, and it costs you the game. One mistake can cost you the whole game, even if it's early on. Sometimes I've lost a game by 1 because earlier I didn't hit you for 1 point, so for 1 damage. So that's the beauty of this game. One tiny mistake at the top of the game or anywhere in the game can cost you the whole game.
Yeah, and I think I want to say that Emigor likely built this deck just as solid as he could, but I think with everyone knowing Outlaws are out there, and probably something told him that, hey, you know what? I feel like if I make this bigger deck with all the control options that it has with Viper, with Poison Arrow, with my own ability, with Camouflage Foe, with Snare Trap, that it's going to have a hard time being able to do anything against me. And it went to the end. I mean, it wasn't like it was a complete counter, but he did have the tools available to be able to, at least win the game and not just get run over like we're usually, like we're used to seeing happen.
Yeah. I mean, this is so far, it was just so exciting compared to the game I had with Emigor, which was just really a cakewalk for him. It was, but he was nothing but a gracious winner. Again, this I think speaks volumes also about the community, about Shadow Era. People are here to help. So if you're new, if you're tuning in this for the first time, and go, what is this? It's like anything else. It's there is maybe a learning curve, but I think nowadays people are so smart and so savvy that they'll pick up on it right away. But there is, it does go deep. So you saw how intricate those decks were going back and forth. But that's one of the great things is that people are here to help out. We're here. I probably can't help you that much, but I'm willing to try, and I know Insano Mango is as well, and so is the owner. So shout out to Jonathan Bjork, the new owner of Shadow Era, who's sponsoring these championships. So shout out to them. Thank you.
And I don't know if I misspoke there. Did I say Sigismund won the game? I did say Emigor won, right?
I think you said Emigor.
Okay, all right. Just want to be sure. Just want to make sure I didn't misspeak and that I'm giving the kudos to the wrong person here. But yeah, Emigor deciding not to bring every outlaw deck. I mean, hey, and I'm not gonna fault Sigismund for bringing only outlaw allies, because I mean, you play the game, you play to win the game.
Yes.
Right? So why would you not bring what you know is the most consistent deck or ally setup possible? So hey, kudos to him for not overthinking it and saying, you know what, I know what works the best right now. I know that. I know what works the best. Outlaw.
Yeah, 100%. That's the theory known as KISS. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple, get it out there, and make it work. I'm not calling anyone stupid, of course. I have no right to. But there is that KISS theory. Well, that was very, very exciting. So where are we now? We've got Emigor. I think he's going to take that. And again, it makes me feel better because I drew him round 1, so you can only imagine how decidedly he wiped the floor with me. But yet it was a lot of fun, and I enjoyed it, even though I lost it. And now I'm like, yeah, maybe we should have participation trophies. Now, I would definitely like to benefit from that, but we don't. So we also have what we're calling the losers bracket, so that everybody has a second chance to make it. But I think really the most important part is how much fun people are having. So thank you. And folks, just go to shadowera.com, and from there you can also join the forums, join the people and whatnot. Welcome back, Mango. Welcome back. Not really. Yeah, I looked in the comments and no one really said like, oh my God, where's Mango? They were just like, oh, thank God. Now we just get to listen to Paul Vato, aka Sir Vato, in the game, for lack of a better name. I don't know why. Oh, you know what? I didn't go with Paul Vato 10, 12 years ago when I created the account, because I didn't want people to know. Like, it was so hard to figure out that Sir Vato is also Paul Vato. I think if you Google the name Vato, you're gonna get me, but you're also gonna get Snoop Dogg and his song Vato. So if you're looking for me, head on over to paulvato.com, and from there you can then find me across all social media. And you know what? Maybe I'll throw up a link for Shadow Era as well, so that you guys can just go over there and log in. If you've never played this type of game, it's a trading card game. So if you've heard of, I don't even want to mention their name, but maybe Magic the Gathering, which I used to play back in the 1900s, and I still have some of those cards. So I got to see what the value is and get rid of them all, so I can purchase Shadow Era. But that's the thing; you don't even have to spend any money on the game. You can grind it out. You can find the cards that you need. The community is wonderful, and it's just an amazing community and game. As you've seen some of the games that have been played today. If you're not familiar with the game, we'd be more than happy to help you. But again, some people will invest money in it, but you don't have to. You can just grind away and make solid decks and have a lot of fun. And again, if you go to shadowera.com, that's where you can get most of the information, and then you can just download it right from the App Store, and I'm sure also from Google Play, because there's also a client for your PC, for your laptop, for your desktop. So it's cross-platform, and I think it's just such an exciting game, and it's changed a lot since it started, 10, 11 years ago, and I've been there pretty much since the beginning, never as involved as I have been now. So thank you to the powers that be for allowing me to come in and do commentary for the World Series, for the World Championship. Sorry, I'm thinking of the World Series of Poker, which I hope to play in this year. Well, you can go over to State Kings if you're looking to invest in my poker career. But yeah, all that is on paulvato.com. But most importantly, I would love to play with you guys here on Shadow Era. That almost sounds a little creepy, but it's strictly a professional. ShadowEra.com, and download the app. And it's also a great way to exercise your brain. Mind games are becoming the big thing now in esports. I mean, there is a mind game Olympics style. They want to add mind games to the Olympics because that's I think all part of a well-rounded, healthy lifestyle. At least that's what I kept telling my ex-wife. Maybe that's why she's my ex. But yeah, come on and join us. Go to ShadowEra.com, and then from there you can download whichever client platform that you would like to use to play Shadow Era. We're just waiting for Insano Mango to get back. I think he's taking a break. I heard him crack open a bottle of scotch, so maybe he's halfway into that. I mean, it is breakfast time, the breakfast of champions. Only if you're over 21, of course. Unless you're in another part of the world, then you can probably drink at whatever age. You guys are so lucky. I'm sure it helps curb alcoholism. I'm not promoting drinking.
Sorry about that.
Any of these.
Apparently, my internet does not want to work for.
But I live in Vegas. What else?
The heck, my cat just climbed all over my keyboard.
Vegas is built around. They call it City for a reason.
Vato, are you there, Vato?
To Las Vegas. Make sure to hit me up, and I'd be more than happy to meet you out on the Strip or downtown Fremont.
I think we might have lost Vato for the time being.
To be had.
It's a big
in Las Vegas.
Looks like both hosts
thank you guys so
were
much for
strategically taken out. Somebody was able to find Mark at the same time.
Oh, sorry. I had you guys muted. Are we done? What happened? Can you guys hear me? Oh. All right. Wait, are we done? Can you guys hear me?
Got you. I got you, Paul. Sorry.
Okay.
Internet deciding to not play along with us today, but why don't we just go ahead and jump right into the next game, and hopefully I'll be able to stick around. And it's going to be, again, Emigor as your favorite Elementalis versus Sigismund playing Tala once again. So Tala just put in a bunch of work on the previous game, but Sigismund's feeling like, well, I'm going to go ahead and jump in with this hero again because honestly, it's going to work out just fine against Elementalis. We both have seen it before multiple times, and it's not an easy game for Elementalis to play. He can't keep up with the outlaw rush flowing in, and I don't feel like this is going to be any different than the last time around. I feel like this game is still going to be pretty well suited for for Tala playing the outlaw allies with the Dead Man's Breach location. How do you feel? You think it'll play out the same way as the first time around?
I think so. And just so you know, though, we don't see you on the Twitch stream. Is that all right? Are we still? But I hear your voice perfectly.
No, yeah, I'm not going to be on the stream. There was too many issues, so they're just gonna have to check out your mug for the time being, and it can't look at two handsome men all the time, man. It's going to drive people nuts. So we'll give them a half dose today. It'll be just you, and I think people are going to be okay.
I love it. You know what? Even better. So welcome, folks. You have to just put up with me, which I think you're fine with. Yeah, because like you said, too much handsomeness is going to ruin people. So
definitely. So still just waiting on the game here. Emigor Sigismund. We'll be in there shortly, and we are in. Okay, so it looks like people are leaving the game already. I gotta tell you, man, I don't feel good about the chances for Emigor with Elementalis. I feel like it's gonna be an uphill battle for him, and he's gonna have to kind of be really lucky to pull this one out. And let me see. So what do we got right now? We are looking at Sigismund having 2 wins to Emigor's 1. So this is actually the defining match of the series as well. So if Sigismund wins this one, he's going to advance in the bracket and be waiting for whoever comes out of the losers.
Yeah, I see that, man. That is.
Oh boy. Okay, so. Oh, and there's the location, and here comes the pain.
Here comes the pain.
Yeah, unfortunately, you just Elementalis always suffers for draw, and I mean when you're buffing up a 2-cost ally to 2/7, usually that sticks around. But in this, whittle that thing down. Does it, with pinpricks, 2 damage at a time, but it's what works. And here comes Dalton, the first one. Brigand Captain is going to be able to buff him up to do 3 damage instead of 2. But you know what? The ally was able to stay on board. So, ooh, Towering Brute. Okay, so now there's a little bit more of a fighting chance. And I'm sure he's going to buff up the Brute. Yeah, so the Brute now, any ally that comes in has -4 attack. -4. So if there was any screw you to hasted ally or hasted decks, this is the ally. And now it's just a matter of, oh, yes, exaltation, man. So yeah, +4 to both stats. This thing is a machine now. And Sigismund has to be thinking, holy crap, what do I have to do to get rid of this thing? It's going to take at least a couple turns and multiple shadow bolts to try to chop that thing down.
You know what? I just realized that's what I need to add to my deck. Because also when it takes damage, it also increases in strength. Is that correct?
Just the one time. When it takes damage for one time, it gets a +2 attack value, and then it's not able to. Oh, yes! Gato, you know what that card is.
I know it very well. I love mind control. And what is it? Infinity Core? What's it called?
Yep, Infinity Core. But good old energy discharge. You can't sneeze at energy discharge. Whoa, he's almost got this ally dead. I thought he might have been able to pull this out, but the Outlaws, you can't beat the Outlaws. I'm wondering why he didn't use his ability on that ally, because it would have still been alive at this point.
Yeah, he saved. He didn't think. He probably didn't think that he had. Although, yeah, that's that one mistake. He should have buffed him up. Look at that, it's over.
Yeah, I honestly, I still feel like there's just too much draw going on Sigismund's side. He's got the Blood Frenzy, and he's got the Hideout. He's just got, look at him. He's down to 12 cards in his deck, whereas Elementalis was still on 22 cards. He just can't keep up with that kind of draw. It's not possible. It doesn't matter how big you build your ally up, if eventually it's just going to get whittled down in the end, because they have way more answers than you do. I mean, it's just, in the end, you just can't keep up. And so that means with that, we have Sigismund pushing his way through the winner's bracket. So he is in the finals of the winner's bracket, which means all the action we see moving forward now is going to be from the players down in the loser's bracket. And so they're looking for their chance to make their way back up. I noticed that some players in the tournament even were not familiar with double elimination, and it's actually very easy to know how it works. You have to lose twice to be out of the tournament. So the person in the winner's bracket actually has no defeats, right? They've been able to push their way all the way through, and the people in the loser's brackets have all lost once. And so they're playing each other, trying to give each other that second loss to knock their opponent out. And then when they make their way up to the finals again, they have to beat the person in the winner's bracket twice, whereas the person in the winner's bracket only has to beat them once, because then that would give them their second defeat. So people just have to remember that the key to the format is in the name: double elimination. You have to lose twice to be taken out.
I think it just makes it so much more fun, and you feel like you have a fighting chance. Obviously, that didn't work for me, because I was eliminated early. But you know what? Maybe I did it on purpose so that I could dedicate more time to being a wonderful co-host here at the World Championships stream. So maybe that was my ploy. I wanted to lose.
Oh yeah, definitely. We all know that after playing you multiple times.
How dare you?
No, but while we decide what we're going to do next, I believe we're going to check out Noble Shao versus Dub Dub. But let's talk a little bit of what we got going on. The World Championship format is actually being changed quite a bit. This year, they actually allocated, John allocated one spot to one of the 6 sanctioned guilds. So, there's always been guilds in the game. However, this is the first year where we actually have sanctioned guilds, which kind of puts them above the rest. And you have to have 15 active members, if I remember correctly, speaking with John. So if you have 15 active members, you have a solid showing in the ladder, the leaderboard for rated. Mm-hmm. Those are a couple of the requirements to making you become a sanctioned guild. And so it's not something that's easy to get to, because not only do you have to have a lot of people, you have to have a strong showing that you actually have strong players. And then each one of those 6 guilds is going to be allocated one spot to go into the World Championships. And the way they did that this year is they went ahead and had in-guild tournaments, and then the winner of that tournament was deemed the guild champion, and that's how they were able to join the World Championships. So I believe that's how it's going to stay moving forward, and I like that. I feel like it's a nice spin on the way things used to be.
Yeah, wonderful. Because you've done this before, which before the current administration, you've done commentary for the World Series, I'm guessing, or at least you've been involved or played in. So it's great to see. I think all changes for the positive. I've been wanting to play, but I just would always realize, oh my God, I missed it again, and another year has gone by. So I think moving from here on forward, if you guys will have me, I'm here as a permanent fixture because I really enjoy doing commentary for the World Championships. Next year, I'll try to do a better showing. I'm gonna practice with my other decks because, in my defense, I've only played with one hero, so it was really tough for me to. I'm like, oh, now I got to pick. It forced me to pick 3 other heroes, but I think it was all for a good thing because it made me realize how much more intricate and deep the game can go. So I think it was all good things.
Yeah, so the guilds, you can play the game without joining Telegram. Telegram is really the main method of communication our players have. We do have a Discord server. It's not that widely used, and there's only a handful of players actually on there. I'm actually one of them. Telegram is the kind of de facto choice of our player base. Mm-hmm. I would say for you to download that app if you like. It gives you a way to interact with us and to have new ideas exposed to you. You're always going to find somebody in a group in the game that is willing to help you learn, and just the people that you get along with. I mean, you're going to find some people like, hey, I like tacos. All right. And then you're taco buddies, and buddies for life. You're taco buddies. Everybody knows that.
Well, that's kind of a bad example because everybody loves tacos, I think.
You would think so, but those people are out there. And what else?
Yeah.
I would also say, even though the game is set up in a mode where you don't have to spend money, some people don't mind putting $20 in. I mean, what is that? That's like 2 meals at McDonald's. Like, hey, Shadow Era, okay, maybe it's not better for you because you're sitting on your butt as opposed to eating fast food. But hey, you know what? It's not having an immediate impact on you. So I would say go to shadowera.com, check out the bundles, or you can do it from in the app as well. See what they have for you there. Get some shadow crystals. Go in, buy a ton of those campaign packs, and hopefully you get us, or you get the Agnar. I mean, campaign packs right now, I say bang for your buck. If you're going to buy a booster pack, Agnar campaign pack is where you want to be, because you have it is the smallest, I think, release so far, and there's quite a bit of legendaries in there. So even if you get one that you don't want to use, you can keep it for your collection, or you sell it off to the merchant and get some gold together so that you can buy anything else that you need. Oh,
what do we got going on?
No, I heard a lot of noise on your end, and I was wondering if you were getting attacked because I no longer see video.
I was, but I defended myself, and I'm back. Freaking Agnar showed up, attacked me. I gotta find a good defense for Agnar, or just build a deck around Agnar.
All right, so we are heading on in, checking out Nobilishao and Dub Dub. Let's see how these boys are doing. I don't know what the current win loss is. I'm gonna check that out real quick. Let me see.
TJ Dub Dub.
And so right now we are looking at. Looks like Nobilishao took the first game, so right now it's 1-0 Nobilishao, but this is in the losers bracket, so he only has to win one more game to advance in the bracket. And so we have Nobilishao playing Aramia and Dub Dub playing Baduru. And Baduru has just been a very popular hero along with Aramia, and it's been interesting to see how people have chosen, because everybody's pretty much stuck to the same heroes. I mean, they know what works right now, and they're not willing to let that go just to be stylish. Like, they want to win, and who can blame someone for that, right?
No, 100%. And I played Baduru as well. That was one of the 4 that I picked, and I just had a ton of fun with Baduru and trying to craft that deck. Also, is this true? There was a little rumor mill going around where there might be a tournament coming up only for decks that were not used in the World Championships. I hope I'm not giving anything away, but I heard that might be coming up. Is that true?
Yeah, just the heroes. So heroes that were not used in the World Championship will only be allowed. And so, yeah, that should be coming up right after.
Wonderful. I think that's great.
And so right now you have Dub Dub trying to make a little bit of a push. So he's decided to go ahead and bring his weapon out. Unfortunately, his opponent has Amulet on the board, so he'll be able to go up to 4 resources. Oh, but he's not going to try to destroy the weapon yet. It looks like he's going to try to focus on getting rid of that Mercenary, because we know Mercenary, when that card came out, people were not happy because it grows so fast. Every time you gain or lose a resource, it gets buffed by 1 on both base stats. So, oh, look at that. He was able to play all those allies, renew enough resources to be able to get back to 4 resources and then take out the weapon. I think that's one of the problems everybody has with Hideout as a card, is not only does it allow you to draw cards, it renews 2 resources as well. I mean, he was able to play what I think it was 2 allies and then utilize the pendant for a total of 8 resources in that one turn off of only 4 resources in his resource pile.
That's a great deck as well. I mean, that is just, look at that, just draws. And it's that outlaw. It's that whole outlaw clan.
Yeah, and I don't think there's a path for Baduru to come back at this point. I mean, I could be wrong. He still has another turn to go before he can summon his weapon. He might just start playing some trap cards here to play a little defense. But it almost feels like the writing is on the wall at this point. Ooh, he skipped that entire turn. I'm feeling like he probably is trying to set up a 1-turn comeback. He does have Snowland Spotter, which allows his hero to attack twice. He doesn't want to play it while he doesn't have a weapon in play. There's no point. He doesn't want it to die before he can make use out of it. So this next turn, I'm guessing we're going to see an Emor's Crossbow, a Snowland Spotter, and hopefully another Snare Trap or something else so he can utilize all of his resources, maybe a Krugel Trapper to seek something else. But, oh, now a Kurt's on the... Okay, yeah, this... Okay, well, there's the Spotter. I'm guessing it's going to be Emor's here. It is an Emor's. And so 2 allies gone. But now what? I mean, this turn, Noblest Shao is just going to play 2-3 allies, kill off the Snowland Spotter, and just have a stranglehold on this game. Oh, yeah, another pendant. So, he's going to recycle one of his outlaw allies. But the only thing is that now that Kurt's in play, if I remember, oh no, yeah, there you go. See, now he's up to 5 resources and able to proc the amulet, kill the weapon. There's basically no chance for Baduru in this matchup, it seemed. It doesn't seem like he really ever had a shot. It was always going to go this way. He's going to do what he can. Dub's not going to give up. This is the World Championship. This is the finals. But I think we can all see how this is going.
Yes. Yeah, I think the writing's on the wall.
Well, so that means, barring any kind of miracle, Noblest Shao will move on to face the all-outlaw man. I mean, Sigismund, again, you got to give him credit. Everyone was trying to see, I want this deck for this circumstance, I want this deck for this circumstance. Whereas Sigismund's like, I want this one deck for all circumstances. And I almost said circumcision there, but I gotta be careful with my wording. That would have been terrible. And there we go. I mean, Dub, great showing. He made it to the end of the tournament, almost able to pull it out, but he had to beat one of his guildmates to get here. That's the downside about this loss, is that he actually took out his guild's chance to have a winner this year, because him and TJ Bluejet actually had to meet before this match. So it was a guild kill, and then unfortunately he went out to Noblest Shao. But Noblest Shao has been around a long time too. He's no slouch. Most of the players at this point are longtime players or well-known players.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of history there. They're well known. They're really good. They've got solid decks. It's not a cakewalk by any means when you come up against these players. And remember, folks, there's still a few days left in the month. You can pop in. This month's contest was a deck with 41 cards. So if you play with that, then you can also pick a card. You can get the special pick a card. So there's still time to get in some games before the end of the month, and this has been a fun-filled month with the World Championships of Shadow Era 2022. So thank you, folks, so much for joining us. And again, make sure you head on over to shadowera.com, where you can find more information on the game and download the game and join us. The community's amazing. It's wonderful. It's so much fun. So thank you for all of you that have been with us these past couple of weeks, and it's going to be an exciting year. A lot of exciting things coming up for Shadow Era. Isn't that right, Mango?
And you never know how the game's going to move forward. We have a new ownership with John in play, and he has a lot of great ideas, things that he's just throwing out there to see how he can change the game and make it more entertaining. And I think I like a lot of his ideas. I mean, of course, I got to say that he's the boss. You never say, "Oh, the boss has stupid ideas." But no, he is obviously a longtime fan of the game. So, and having purchased it, now he has additional interests in it, not only as a player, but financial interests at stake. So you can bet that he's probably going to put his all into making this a better product, not only for himself but for everybody. Because if the consumers enjoy, then he enjoys. And so I think we have a lot of good things going forward. And he's very much a hands-on individual when it comes to this game. You will always see him in the game, playing games, testing out his own decks. You will see him in the Telegram chat room. He's chatting up with other players, his own guildmates. He does have a guild, but there are no codes for that guild. There are no special circumstances for that guild, but he's there, and he's very accessible, which is usually not the case for somebody in that position. And I think it's something that is very unique and appreciated among the player base.
100%. I agree. You know, it's not often. I've owned a lot of businesses, and I've back early in my career. You know, I worked for other people, and it's not often where you have direct access to the ownership of a game, a product, a company, where you can just contact them on Telegram and ask a question specifically from the owners of the company. So it's again, the community is amazing from the top down, and that's you can always tell that's why it's probably a good community, because the leadership is open and helpful. The rest of the people are usually going to be the same way, and I'm there for you. Mango's there for you. So any new people, please feel free to join us and join this amazing community.
Yeah, and so we only have one more match to go on the loser side. So K.A. Noble Shao, he was in a match earlier with RS Flameborn, the gentleman that spawned the card that we're all watching destroy Shadow Era right now, the Insurgent. But so he was able to beat RS Flameborn 2-1 after RS Flameborn beat Shufflebug 2-0. So there was a lot of action going on while we were in the winners bracket watching Emigor and Sigismund. But we decided to focus on that because they were the only ones in the winners side, and we wanted to watch their gameplay to see who was going to make it to the finals for sure. And then now we're down on the loser side trying to see who's next. So I think it's just a matter of time. We're just waiting for Emigor and Noble Shao to queue up their games. They're still not in the system yet. So we just need to hang on a few more minutes and see what they got going on.
So on Agnar, I saw that it said, did it say Flameborn on there? So does RS Flameborn have something to do with Agnar?
He does. I don't know if it actually says Flameborn, but I know it is from these monthly challenges, like we were touching on earlier, is if you win or have the most or the highest score or the highest wins, whatever the criteria is at that time for that challenge, you will actually get a card made in your honor. So there's a couple more cards waiting to come out, and there's one card already, the Bone Titan. That card is actually in reference to a player from the guild Shadow Era Titans, Tommy TPR, I believe it is. And what is it? There was one more before that as well. But yeah, so every time somebody wins one of the monthly, they actually have a card made in their honor, which is another great thing brought forth by John. And you know what? While the guys are waiting, they might be taking a short break, trying to figure out, maybe refreshing some strategy, maybe getting a drink. But they're obviously taking a moment here to figure out how they want to move forward. So we're thinking we might just take out check out a game that was finished already. I don't think we have Noble Shao and Dub we already had playing. You know what? Josh, I'm going to speak right to Josh. Josh is the guy that's going ahead and doing the feed and everything for us. I would just say for him to just jump into any game that's been completed right now from the past, and we'll just follow along until the boys are ready to finish up their games. And I think that's fine. I don't think we need to have a proper intro or anything. Let's just jump into something so we have something playing on the screen and we can see how things went. Maybe one of Shufflebug's games or one of RS Flameborn versus K Noble Shao. Anything so we have something rolling on the screen. We don't just have the versus screen hanging out with us.
Oh, and for pick a card for the Age of Agnar.
Vato, you are muted again, Vato. Vato might have something going on. Maybe he's got a hot date over there with him.
Okay, there we go. I was getting some feedback, so I muted my Discord. But
oh man, I need some snacks.
For Age of Agnar, the code is
here.
CP058.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
Pick a card.
All right. So now Josh has decided to throw us into a game where it was K Noble Shao. Hopefully this is the same one we just watched, isn't it? Or is this a different one? I feel like this is the same one. But out of the way. Oh, the mats. Okay, this mat was made. Mat and sleeves were made by one of our players in the game. It was SK Trinocore. He actually made this mat and these sleeves specifically for Noble Shao because he won the Asia regional. Oh yeah, so we should touch on that. So if these things stay the same moving forward, there are usually 3 regionals, like in Americas, a European, and an Asian. And they take the top performers from those 3 regionals and they earn a seeding in the World Championship. And I mean, we had this all a little late this year, but you know, there was so many things happening that, I mean, we're lucky to even have anything at all. So, you know, I'm sure the players were grateful for that. But yeah, so there's multiple ways for you to make your way into the World Championship. There was a Pro Tour in the past where you would earn points throughout the year depending on your performance, either in the game rated matches or typically through player run tournaments. So that's the other thing, that if you're part of Telegram, you actually have the chance to play in multiple different tournaments. And the tournaments are usually very time friendly. Generally, each opponent you play, you have about a week to complete your matches, and usually it's a best of 3, sometimes best of 5. But so, I mean, you got a week's time to get in 3 to 5 matches. You know, you can usually work that out, and so it's something that people are able to, you know, work their schedule around and still be able to enjoy the game in a mode outside of the typical rated. And you know what, Vato? I'm just curious. I want to see what is happening here. I'm kind of curious as to why we're not rolling yet. I mean, John, I'm thinking, I don't know if John is watching the stream or not, but I wonder if we're running into any kind of technical difficulties that are not allowing the last 2 remaining players on the loser side to finish up Emigor and Noble Shao.
Could it be that they just simply haven't started their games, or no?
I'm not sure. I
don't know, all these games are starting
jump into the... Yeah, Noble Shao, well, the rated screen is kind of resting. And we're just waiting to see what is happening. I don't even see any talk about the last match. Is it just me? Am I not seeing it?
No, well, I see a game right now between Dub and who else? Dub and Noble Shao is the game that I'm seeing up on the screen.
Yeah, we played that just so we didn't have a sitting a sitting multiplayer screen waiting for something to load. But okay, hang on. I think we might be.
I think
we might be getting ready.
I think so. He just created a game a minute ago, so I think he's just waiting. Maybe he has to use the facilities. We don't know. And I might have to go get a charger for my laptop here. So I might have to take a quick break and let you handle all the action.
Okay. All right, Vato, man. We'll see you when you get back.
You got it, my friend. Thank you.
Okay, so I lost my man, but we're okay. We will make this work. Let me see, and let's get everything set up here. Let me see. All right, so let's wait for our production crew to get everything loaded up. It will be Emigor versus Victor versus Baduru, who is... You know what? I want to say this matchup is pretty neutral. Victor versus Baduru. I can't really see any circumstance where one is way better than the other, especially with. I mean, we got Noble Shao. Noble Shao's Baduru is pretty much just a straightforward control early game. You know, use the trapper to seek his traps, to pull his Anmore's elixir, and I mean he's got pack an extra even, which is cool. It's just a one of, but it is something to slim your deck a bit. You know, draws you a card for one resource, but he really is looking to just kind of control the early game and then come in with the Deepwood Bobcats, the Snowland Spotter for those double attacks. So I mean it's pretty standard, straightforward gameplay for Baduru. You know, nothing insane, nothing crazy, kind of what you expect from Baduru. And also, well, let's check out. So Emigor's Victor, VP Emigor from Blue Phoenix. So again, Emigor, I mean, as long as I've been playing, Emigor's been around. I mean, I've known him for a long time too. And so he is going to be playing Victor. All right, so I think we're going to be jumping right in. I'm trying to go through back and forth. Copy. All right, so into the action. Okay. So we have now the finals for the losers bracket. So one of these guys, I think they're guys, did not ask. Pretty sure I know who all the women are in Shadow Era. It's not hard to keep track of that, as with most games. But we have one of these two gentlemen here. Again, I don't know if they're gentlemen. One of them could be a jerk. Anyway, one of these guys, one of them, after this win, will move up and try to take his claim at the title. So again, whoever moves up, they're going to have to win 2 times versus the person in winners, who is Sigismund, who decided to bring nothing but bad boys to the party. Everyone loves a bad boy. And so what do we have here? So we have a 3 cost. Okay, so you see here, new players, you need to pay attention to the costs that are used. So right there, Emigor, he played a trap card for 3, and then he attacked into the hero. If this was any other game, if you attack into the hero and you realize that, hey, the trap did not proc, so you go, okay, so this is either a death trap, which costs 3, or it's a camouflage foe, which costs 3. But if you, and so at that point, you know how to play your next cards. Okay, so you have to pay attention to the cost, because if you don't see how much it costs, you don't know what the next option that you should take, what ally you should play, or you know, if it's a death trap, what you should play first. Play a small ally so they don't get enough value out of it. And I think, yeah, we did. Vato will be back. I think he had a bathroom break, and so we have Noble Shao making a push here. He's got 2 trap cards in play, and camouflage foe, and a Grundlers. So he's making a strong push here. But we have Victor coming down with the Weevil Tip Crossbow. And again, Weevil Tip Crossbow, anytime you deal damage, so you have to actually deal damage to the opposing hero. But when you do, it reduces the durability or the life points of any weapons or armors that they have in play. So it's a great card to be able to whittle down your opponent's weapons or armors if you don't have any other destruction in hand, or but remember, so those armors that have a 2 defense value, it's not going to use, the ability is not going to proc, because you're not actually doing damage. So you just have to be cautious on that. And so right now we have Tower and Brute down. Victor is looking to make a comeback here. He's got 2 uses of his shadow ability. So he's ready to take out at least 2 allies back to back. Let's see, I'm just gonna copy paste some information on my other side. I'm trying to make sure I can follow along with what everybody's seeing. All right. And so he doesn't have too much to worry about here. I mean, he can bring down that 1 ally. Yep, he's going to bring him down the health to 1, as you saw. So it's health value, and then poison arrow. So the poison will take 1 damage at the start of next turn. And so both of those allies will be gone. And look at that. So a great card there, General of Anaxio. whenever you see him, seek for you an attachment card. Any attachments in play, it would just go to the top of your deck. If he did not have any in play, it would go directly to his hand. At this point, it didn't matter because when that, ouch. Okay, so that card right there is an oldie but goodie. It's been around since the very start of the game, and what it does is it deals damage to both opponents, but it also clears everyone's shadow energy. So the way Noble Lachau leveraged that at that point, first he utilized his own shadow ability, pulled out a weapon, and then gone. No more shadow energy for Emigor. I mean, granted, Noble Lachau doesn't have any allies on the board, so maybe the value isn't too much lost, you would think, but no, because now Emigor knows that whatever ally Noble Lachau plays, it's going to stick. He's not going to be able to get rid of it immediately, and I think the only saving grace is hopefully it's not a Dragnus or a Gorlak, because those two allies will be very hard to get rid of without his ability, as they both have an outstanding health value. So let's see what he happens. Up, and there's the Gorlak. So Gorlak comes in play. It does proc the damage or the trap camouflage foe, so it comes in and deals some damage. But now you have a 3/6 ally sitting on the board, no ability to bring it down. You have 2 more turns before you can use your ability. I haven't been keeping track. I don't know if he has a poison arrow in hand still. I don't believe so. I believe he used it. Oh, all right. So they're both playing with big boys now. So Noble Lachau doesn't have any shadow energy to bring out a weapon, but it doesn't mean he can't hard summon one right now. But does he want to with the Weevil Tip crossbow in play, because that'll diminish the durability? Nope, he's going to play the Trapper. He seeks Anmore's Elixir. Okay, so Hunter item. So what this will do, this will allow him to draw a card. You see his resources went down by 1. So Anmore's Elixir for no cost. You get rid of one of your resources, you draw a card. So it is an extremely valuable resource to have in regards to card draw, because as long as your resources are within the range that you need them to be, you can utilize it without hampering yourself whatsoever. And when you can summon your weapons at no cost, the only thing you really need to have a lot of resources for is your biggest allies. So right now, Emigor, he's looking at a full board here. He still has 1 turn before he can use his ability. What does he have in hand? Does he have... Oh, he's going to go ahead and just go straight for the Gorlak kill, I'm guessing. You can't leave Gorlak in play because it will gain... Oh, okay, so he has a Soul Seeker. He still has three resources to play with. I'm not sure what he has in hand. So he has to, unfortunately, attack into that ally first. I didn't even notice it, but that ally, the reason he attacked... Oh man, I can't think of its name right now. But that ally actually has Protector for allies while it's undamaged. So unfortunately, he had to eat that damage to be able to come in and kill Gorlak. So great play by Noble Lachau to have that card in hand to be able to force Emigor's hand. Oh, here we go. So there's Hunter's Gambit, reduced by 2 health. Is he going to attack into the ally? No, he's going to attack into the hero. He wants to whittle down that weapon so that he only gets 1 health value out of it. So he's going to heal. He's going to kill one of these allies right now. He's going to get that 3 health back. But what kind of push can he make? Because right now, Emigor has a good chance to put this game out of reach for Noble Lachau. I mean, he still has his big guy on the floor, or on the field, and now it's just a matter of, does Noble Lachau have a weapon? Is that 1 card in his hand a weapon? Because if it is, he can come in with that and do some damage. Okay, there's the heal value of 3. Ooh, 4 to the face from Dragnus. Oh, Legend Rises. Man, I did not see that coming. Legend Rises negates the -2 health value from the Hunter's Gambit. So that is why the health value jumped up to 9. And oh wow, and it I smell GG. That's what I smell. I smell GG. Because now whatever weapon Noble Lachau puts out, Pendant, without a doubt, is going to destroy it. Any item or ability is destroyed for a cost of 4. Some people are debating whether or not that's a good card to have in the game. I'm kind of on the fence. I mean, it's quite a bit of value for what it is. Maybe that might have to be reworked a bit, because it kind of mitigates other cards that were used to destroy items before. So he's going to draw a card. He's down to 4 resources, but I think at this point, you have to kind of see the writing on the wall here. This game seems like it's going to be... If he's not going to concede... I mean, I get it because this is the World Championships, but I mean, geez, that is a 6-9 ally, and he is on basically a turn 2 clock here. Hey, Vato! Welcome back, sir. You missed some good action here. There was some solid gameplay, good back and forth. The Dragnus on the other side, I believe that's what it's called. I'm kind of phasey, man. I need sleep. The Dragnus on the other side there had a Hunter's Gambit on him, so he was down to, I think, a total of 4 health value, or 5. And then Emigor played a Legend Rises on him, and boom. Now you have 8-9 staring in the face of Noble Shao, and I don't think he has any way to get rid of it, to be honest.
I think it looks like he's done for.
And Noble Shao's thinking, considering his options, I don't feel he has many. I mean, he doesn't have perfect shot to be able to bring that ally down to 1 health.
Yes, let me...
Yep, I hear you good, Vato.
Oh, good.
And so Noble Shao decided to the face there. You know, all my talking, and I didn't realize how low on health Victor actually is.
It is close, but...
And there goes the weapon.
He's taking his time. He's trying to figure it out, but might be too little, too late.
Yeah, I don't feel he has enough options to be able to make the comeback. Even if he hard summoned a bow, I mean, that would probably be the best option. You know what? Yeah. So Poison Arrow, why, you would think, but I mean, when you're at 6 health, you don't want to take any damage. So yeah, even though that ally only has an attack value of 1, you kind of have to do it. You have to keep it from attacking you. And I don't think he has to worry about a majority of the allies that his opponent would play, because Noble Shao, oh, there we go, it's a last-ditch effort. I wonder what the card was he sacrificed. But anything that Noble Shao plays at 5 or less, Dragnus sitting at 6 attack, and with his buddy Viper at 3-4, should be able to handle it. Noble Shao digging Hunter's Gambit. Yeah, I mean, I give it up to Noble Shao because he's not quitting, but I feel like this game's been finished for multiple turns now. Oh, goodbye, Krugel. So that's one of the snare traps. And again, new players always never quit, man. But new players, again, make sure you watch the cost of the traps so you can at least theorize as to what it would be. There's only so many trap cards, and they all have a set cost value, so you should be able to figure out what they're playing without actually proccing it. There we go. Noble Shao. He finally decided, you know what? Time has come. It's over. It was a valiant effort, but it was only game 1. So we still have 2 more games to go. Or one more game. Sorry, one more game. Yeah, so we have Emigor taking the first, and this is in the loser's bracket, of course. So he needs 1 more win to advance up to see if he can take out Sigismund. I believe Sigismund was the one that dropped him. Yeah, Sigismund dropped him down into the loser's bracket. So we'll see if he can get 1 more win and try to get some vengeance on Sigismund and those outlaw allies. But I think it's going to be tough for whoever makes their way up to Sigismund, because those outlaw allies have shown why they're the best option to have in the game. With running 4 decks, all outlaw, just abusing the game for not changing anything. Okay, so now we just gotta wait for this to load up. I'm trying to think if there's anything we can go over. There is one.
I'm gonna have to step away for one more second because I've got something going on that it's not charging, and I'm about to lose battery. So let excuse my background, but I'll be right back, my friend.
Copy that. Yeah, Josh, we have one more. Josh, one more. We just gotta wait for them to load it up. I don't know what the format is going to be for World Championship seeding moving forward for this year. I mean, obviously it's a new year and we have new management, so the sky is the limit, right? I'm guessing he's going to go ahead and retain the 6 seeds from the sanctioned guilds. I don't know if we're going to have a pro tour still or not, and so it's still up in the air. I mean, we are getting kind of a late start because we're already at the end of February, and I know he wants to kind of have all this done by December, right? So we want to kind of get everything in and out as quickly as possible this year. So maybe this year will be a little more hectic than last year even. So that's going to be fun to see. And then the year following, maybe we'll be able to have everything and it'll be a nice, smooth format and everything will be good to go. But the learning curve, you can't even blame it on that. It is honestly just, hey, give stuff this year, and it'll be from Emigor and Noblest Shout to load. And it is just about there. Let me see. Give me 1 second here. You good there, Vato?
I'm good. I think it's charging, but now my Safari is stuck because that's where my Discord is. But I'll figure it out.
Let's see you playing Praxis recently. How were you having fun with that again?
Which what's that? The what was I? What did you see me playing?
Praxis, the discarding hero, the elemental.
Yes, I did. I sure did. Yeah, because I thought it was a nice transition from Elementalis, but and it was. I think that's my 41 card deck that I've been using, and I have 95 wins, so I need 5 more wins to get a 4th pick a card, which I'm very excited about.
Yes.
And
that is a great perk that he gave us. I can't believe he just gave those out like that. That's very generous of him, because packs are usually very difficult to come by.
Yeah, very, very much so. And I took a screenshot here of the Age of Agnar. The pick a card code is EP058 for those that are wondering. So we can go right into pick a card, enter that code, and get your Agnar foil.
EP058.
See, I think it's CP.
I copy that. Oh,
copy
CP.
that. Yes, CP058 is the code for Age of Agnar to get your pick a card. And that comes with what? Every 25 wins, you get a pick a card, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes. Every 25 wins.
Wonderful.
Oh, wait a minute. It looks like we're still waiting, actually. I thought we were ready to go with the next game, but it looks like they're still holding up. They really thinking this one out. And unless you see something different on your screen. Do you see anything different on the multiplayer screen?
I don't. No. I think we're. Yeah, I just.
So we're just waiting.
I think we're waiting for the next game to start. Yeah, I was down to like 2% on my laptop, so things are starting.
Oh no!
Right, but I think I got it just in time because I plugged it in, and then all of a sudden it still wasn't working. I'm like, wait, what happened? I'm like, oh, the power strip. So if I somehow leave, I'll be right back. But I think I should be.
Oh, okay, they're making it now. All right, so this could be the final game for Noblest Shao. He loses this one, he is out, and Emigor gets to try to get his revenge against Sigismund. Noblest Shao, I think he was the sole representative from the KA. No, I think there was one more KA. I can't remember the whole swath of the 32 players, but KA players have been a strong player set for a while. I think they're all somewhere in Asia. I believe the main base of their guild is Chinese, and they really love Shadow Era, and I'm glad that they're here. And we actually have a little group together where we're going to try to do some game reviews, write-ups, whatnot about things moving forward. And hopefully he can share it with his people, and that aren't in Telegram, that have to go through other means, because I think Telegram is not available actually to people in China.
And I believe KA stands for, is that Killing Assassins? Maybe Killing Assassin? Killing Assassins?
Yes, something along those lines. Okay, so it looks like they're good to go. Emigor playing Baduru and Noblest Shao playing Lance. I swear I saw that loaded up earlier, but then it disappeared. I'm not sure what's going on with that. But yeah, we can go ahead and we'll be jumping into that one shortly, as long as it stays up this time. So, I'm pretty sure I saw it earlier.
How far are we from somebody being crowned the 2022 Shadow Era champion? What's the process from here on out? Who needs to win what in order to take this whole thing down?
All right. Well, after this match, if Emigor wins, he will move up to the winner's bracket, and where he will have to beat Sigismund in a set, or 2 times in sets of best of 5. So, and whereas Sigismund would only have to beat him once in a best of 5. So that is what's remaining now. But I mean, Noblest Shao still has a chance to. Oh, okay. I don't think we've got to see this kind of Lance in the play yet. So Noblest Shao is playing, or not Noblest Shao. Noblest Shao. I guess I got the deck wrong. Huh. Okay. The information I have isn't correct when it comes to this Lance, but this Lance is such an interesting deck because it mostly focuses on about 8 allies, and it's only solely about growing them immensely. And so he's going to be playing out either a Wisp or the 4-cost ally. The name is escaping me right now. But with that armor in play, he will be able to ready it. And then what he does is he hides it, readies it, attacks with it. Next turn, readies it, attacks with it. So you can get off 3 to 4 attacks in only 2 turns. So readied is an ability that you don't see very often. Oh, he's not going to be able to do any of that. Baduru does have a weapon. He gets rid of that armor. It was a risk to take to play that early without the ally in play, but he decided he would go for it. And so Noblest Shao, right now, I want to say he's gonna. Yep. Okay, so there's Knight of Inoxio, and there is Sostilo. Yeah, so I don't think we've covered a deck like this at all in the previous sessions, right? The last 2 days that we were watching the game.
Not at all.
Have you gone up against this specific deck?
Oh yeah, many times, and it's the card that he just the ally that he played. I mean, it's just such a powerful ally, especially then when you hide it and you can't even attack it. I mean, you can use mind control on it if you're already with that many resources, but it's a very powerful card. And when you hide your creatures, your allies that way, you can't come up against them with your weapons or anything.
Oh!
So lowered his health to 1.
Okay, so you want an answer to it?
Yeah, there it is.
That's your answer.
That's the answer, because the weapon there can attack with even if there's shroud, or I mean I shouldn't say shroud, but even if there's what's it called? What's that ability?
Stealth.
Called
Stealth.
So even if it has stealth, that weapon can attack right through it. So there's the answer.
Yeah, so Knight of Inoxio was the name of that card. And it's unfortunate because it was his way of kind of having a stranglehold on the match. If that ally would have lived, he would have been able to make quick work of this match. Now that it's gone, you don't really know how this is going to go because you can still get steamrolled by this deck in just 2 turns. I mean, you saw it was that 5 attack value there. If he had the armor in play, it would have gone up to 7. So I mean, that's 12 damage in 1 turn that can be dealt. Anarchic looting, nice. That hurts. So that is a rogue specific ability that kills all items in play. So it doesn't matter if it's your items or the opposing items. Everything is destroyed, and you gain a card for everything destroyed, but up to a maximum of 3. But I mean, in a situation like this where he was looking at a trap and a weapon, hey, why not? Why not use it? Get those 2 card draw, kind of slow down Baduru.
Yeah, that was well timed.
No, you also gotta say that Noble Shao having that the perfect shot, he had to know what this deck was going to be. So he knew that all cards, I mean, it's one of the ways that you have to realize when you're playing this game. I mean, your resources don't ramp up every turn like some other games. Every turn, you have to look at what's in your hand, and you have to think, what am I going to need? Can I afford to get rid of this? How many of these do I have in my deck? And he saw the perfect shot, and he knew, okay, I cannot get rid of this card. I need to, above all else, I need to save this card, because if I don't have this, things are going to get out of control for me really quick. And because of that, because he kept that 1 card, look at the game now. He's basically has it all wrapped up. And I think we know now, if we see this matchup again, how it potentially can go.
Right, yeah.
And so he's trying to live. So with that ability, he's able to discard a card and cripple an opposing card.
Disable, yeah.
Yeah, but only for that 1 turn. And, oh, okay, yeah. You know what? I don't have my ability. I don't care. I have the resources. Let me just summon the crossbow, and that's 6 damage to the face. That's pretty much going to be it. Lance doesn't have any way to heal up. Doesn't have any way to get rid of everything on the board at once. And I mean, we didn't really get to see this deck flow the way it can, but that's also, of course, because of Emigor's great decision-making to keep that perfect shot in hand.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, Noble Shao. Just doing the discarding stuff, showing us how it can grow in ally. And got that ally up to 6-8, but I mean, he's just giving us a show at this point. 6-8. Oh, here we go again. All right. He knows he's lost, but hey, why not show what could have happened?
What could have been? What could have been? Look at that.
8-10. Well, he didn't attack with it, but hey, you know what? It's fine. Great showing of what could have been there at the end. That's what would have happened during the game in that early part when he was unfortunate enough to run into a perfect shot. And Emigor, BP Emigor, takes that 2-0 over K Noble Shao. I think I might have been saying the names backwards during the match. Hopefully I wasn't, but if I was, at least I got it right at the end. But yeah, so Emigor taking that 2-0. So now it is going to be Emigor back up to the winner's bracket to take on BT Sigismund, who, I mean, at this point might be asleep. He's been waiting a while to play somebody.
Yeah. We might have to wait a while for this game. And it's like deja vu because we just saw them play earlier today, and what an exciting match. So if Emigor he needs to win 2, and Sigismund only needs to win 1 in order to be the champion.
So Sigismund needs to win 1 best of 5.
1 best of 5.
Emigor,
right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Emigor needs to win 2 best of 5s. So again, double elimination. So you're out when you lose twice. So Emigor has already lost once. That's why he's in a loser's bracket, right? So if he loses again, he's done. Whereas Sigismund hasn't lost at all. So that's why he gets that extra life in a way. that okay, I can lose one set of 5, but then we're both on playing for the win at that point. So I mean, he's in a pretty good spot. I feel like his wins over Emigor were pretty sound. I mean, unfortunately, Emigor bringing Elementalis, it's not going to work out in any way against any of these outlaw decks. Maybe against Terramia is the worst, but against any of them, it's going to be tough for him to be able to make any kind of headway and pull out this championship. So it's an uphill battle for sure for Emigor, and Sigismund has to be feeling pretty good about his chances for winning.
Yeah, I agree 100%. That's we're in for some more exciting action. Thank you, folks, for joining us. Thanks for being here. And like we said, head on over to shadowera.com so you can get a little bit more information on the game. And make sure you download it. Download it from the App Store, download it from Google Play. It's cross-platform. You can download a client right for your laptop or your PC and join us. Thank you for being here.
Yeah, thank you for everyone who is watching and who will be watching. Hopefully we put on a good show. Hopefully, I know the players have been putting on a good show. Us, I don't know, man. That's subjective. Who knows what people are really...
Yeah.
But hey, you know what? We try. Yeah, we're doing the best we can. I think the one thing we can both say for sure is that we actually really enjoy this game, and we hope to see it keep going. I mean, believe it or not, some people don't realize this. They're just finding it. This game has been around, I think, for 12, 13 years.
It's amazing, and I just see nothing but better things coming for it, for the community. There's already, I mean, I think it's had over 1 million downloads, so the interest is there, and we're just still keep building the community. And I'll look at the Telegram and see that there are thousands of messages, so there are many active players. Of course, we always want to grow it, so everyone is welcome. Make sure you download it, and also do us a favor and like the stream, share the stream. Make sure you share it with your friends, especially anyone that's interested in mind games, in trading card games, anything like that. And even after we're done recording, by all means, please rewatch it and share. And it's also a great way to learn the game, because you kind of see the way other players are playing. You learn the mechanics of the game. So there's a lot of great content out there, and we're trying to create more content for you guys. And I'm excited, and I'm excited about the contests that are coming up. There's also a monster deck, for lack of a better word, where you have to have maybe at least 100 cards, or from 100 to 120 cards. So you have to play with that many. I'm going to find that fun, because then I can put every single card that I want in a deck. The kitchen sink, I'm going to call it.
Yeah, actually, unfortunately, maybe you might have missed this. I'm not sure if everybody got it, but I think they actually had to tone down it back down to 80, because there are some people playing on older devices that when the deck hit 120, it was just screwing with their gameplay. I'm guessing it was making it crash or something along those lines. So now I believe, unless that has been fixed, which I don't think it can be, because it's those older devices. I believe John had said they unfortunately had to lower it down to 80 cards. So not 120. I did play a couple games with 120. It was fun. It was interesting trying to build a deck that works at 120. But yeah, so unfortunately it will be dropped down back to 80.
Okay, well, I still, that's twice, I'm guessing, the average card ever. I think average decks are anywhere from around 40 cards, 38 to 40 some cards. So this is going to be double that. So hey, you can throw 4 cards of everything in there, and hopefully the deck will work. And those are great, because sometimes you get all the cards you need right away, and you can decimate your opponent. But then other times you're like, wow, I can't find a card. It's not coming. It's not dropping. So I think that'll be fun. An 80 card deck versus 80 card decks, and then some. We'll find out and put it. Make sure that we let everyone know what that contest is going to be.
Yeah, it's going to be fun. I like it. I like the different challenges every month. It just shows how much more interactive John is with the player base and with the community, and trying to find ways to keep things fresh and interesting. So you have to appreciate that.
No, it's wonderful. It's nice to see an owner that's involved with the game and is accessible, and it's promoting just great gameplay and a great community. So we're very excited for changes that are coming and changes that have already been made. So thank you guys. Thanks for sticking with us, and I hope you're enjoying the stream. If you are, please hit the like button, hit the share button, and we will continue to cover the 2022 World Championships of Shadow Era.
Yeah, so we're seconds away here from having the finals. I mean, we're right there. I am curious to see if anything's any different, but again, as I said before, Outlaws are showing that there's a reason why they're hated so much. Like they are here and they are letting it be known, like, hey, we're the best. You know, we don't play by the rules. We only look to win, and he's been showcasing that quite well. I think as a total through this whole tournament, I think he's only lost 4 times, like 4 single games.
Amazing. Do we know what decks, or can you guess what decks that they will be using? Or I guess we know from the Versus, right? But can they pick any deck of the 3 that are eligible to start?
Yeah, well, of the 3. Any deck that they wish to choose to start off with, yes. So I think they still have to, let me see. And I think we are just about there. But yeah, so I say it's time to check out what we got. So it looks like we're going to be jumping into Emigor. He is starting off with Victor, and Sigismund is giving it a shot with Aramia. So the great thing about this is Aramia works wonders going first or second. You know, some people say going second, you're always at a disadvantage. But Aramia with Outlaws and the location, it doesn't matter if you go first or second. At one point, you're going to get that location out, and you're going to start making some headway in the game. And we are in. All right, so this is for the World Championship title for Shadow Era 2022, even though we are 2 months into 2023.
Yeah. Hey, at least it's happening,
Well, we time travel. Yeah, time travel is not easy, man. We went back 2 months to make this work. You know, we found time travel. What did we do with it? We went back 2 months to watch the finals for Shadow Era World Championship and stream it. It's kind of sad when you think about it.
You know what? I don't feel so bad, because didn't the Super Bowl just happen like a week ago, 2 weeks ago? That's for the 2022 champion. So I don't feel that bad that we are covering the 2022 Shadow Era World Championships.
All right, so Aramia, I don't know, man. I don't know. I want to feel like things could change, but at least it's not Aramia into Elementalis. I feel like that would be very difficult. So this could turn out a little differently for Emigor here. I feel like he's dreading playing Elementalis into any one of these decks, though. And look at this startup. Wow. I don't know if you can get a better startup than that for Sigismund. I mean, he has everything he needs. He got Unstable Gateway so he can seek allies. He got his draw engine down in Hideout. He has the robes down, which every time you take damage, you draw a card. He has a location. He has a weapon. I mean, he's not even RS, and he has the perfect start.
And again, beautiful artwork. Look at that Black Templar. That's the BT in BT's Sigma. These Black Templars. All amazing guilds, all fun. But it is always, of course, fun to belong to a group, a club, a guild, a gang, if you will. This is our family. So, and there's there's guilds for everybody.
Of course, you would say gang. Being Hispanic. What are you gonna say? We unfortunately have quite a few gangs to our name.
Vegas, baby, the Vegas Vatos.
Oh, I like it. VV, Vegas Vatos.
Vegas Vatos. This isn't an Asian thing. This is a gang sign, the Vegas Vatos.
All right, so now it's just a matter of...
Is this too nerdy?
Sorry about that. I think I cut you off there. What you got?
I was say, is this too nerdy? I feel like I've seen this gang sign before.
the signs Aramia is throwing up right now are I'm whooping you and there's nothing you can do about it. And I think she's right. Yeah, I mean, I don't feel like there could be a better setup for Sigismund to start off this match. I mean, this has been pretty brutal to watch. I mean, everything just fell right into place. I mean, it tends to happen more often than not with Aramia because, I mean, she does have that ability where she could seek items, right? So, I mean, even if you don't have what you need right away, as long as you get to your fourth turn, you can always bring it in.
100%, yeah. And we're watching really the top two players, right? I mean, these are the top two players in Shadow Era because they've made it this far. So it's still these are not easy games. There's still a lot of thought that goes into it. There's not only building your deck, but during the game. I mean, it's like a brutal match. It's not going to be super easy.
And so Emigor decides, okay, I'm just going to play the Soul Seeker. He wants to be ready to heal. All right, Sigismund says, I'm going to take off some durability, but when you retaliate, I get to draw a card. Because that Rogues, which it was actually changed up. It used to be much different. I think it had a higher defense value too, so it was harder to be dealt damage. But now with the 1 defensive value, I want to say it was 2. I mean, it's been a while since I remember the old version, but either way, I mean, now, Sigismund has 3 draw options to play. To my knowledge, Hideout, and the Ropes. So this is pretty intense. I don't think he's going to run out of cards at any point in this match. And I mean, you got Victor here. He stopped ramping his resources up. He stopped at 5. So I mean, Sigismund doesn't really have to worry about any combination plays, with the Bobcat, playing an ability plus the Bobcat, because you need at least 6 or 7 for that.
Let's hope this time he plays it in the correct order.
Yeah, got Vato calling you out, man. Jeez.
It's pretty bad when Vato's calling you out on your gameplay.
The world, he's like, if I was in this position, I would be doing better because I don't make those mistakes.
I don't make those rookie mistakes. But what I love about the game, one of the aspects, is that there are always striving for balance. So if a card was debuted and it's a little too strong, you can bet that it'll get scaled back, or maybe it's not strong enough. So there's always balancing going on, which I think is a good thing. If a card is just too out of whack when it comes to power, it will be scaled back, and I think it adds just for better gameplay.
Okay, so I feel like we're going to see some Vipers here. Or maybe sacrifice up to 7 resources and then a Hunter's Gambit into a Bobcat. So let's see, or a Bobcat into a Hunter's Gambit. Yeah, there we go. So there's the Bobcat, there's the Hunter's Gambit. Okay, so now he'll actually be able to kill the Alden. Oh no, he's going to go after one of the smaller allies. Okay, I did not see that coming, but it makes sense because he's giving him 1 less chance to recycle those allies back into the deck. So I mean, I would have killed the Alden. Maybe that's the wrong choice to make. I can't say that was a wrong decision to make there, to get rid of the outlaw ally that is just basically renewing resources and drawing a card every time it stays on the field.
But I you know what? I would have probably made a mistake and gone after the Alden, just because it adds it buffs up every player when they're attacking, gives them 1 extra attack. So and I mean, now I think the game is over.
Yeah, I mean, Victor does have a tool to deal with a swarm of allies like this, but not to this extent and not in this deck. There's a card called Spirit Shuriken that allows you to deal damage to a target ally based on the number of allies in play. So right now he has 5 allies in play. He'd be able to target one of those and deal 5 damage. But I mean, the start was just too solid. Emigor was never able to get a solid footing. I mean, I don't think we had any traps really be played either. Like no snare traps, no camouflage traps. So Emigor kind of got the short end of the stick here with the draw. He got, just say it like it is, he got screwed in the wrong way with his draw. And Emigor and Sigismund had everything he needed lined up. I mean, the stars aligned, those sea parted. I don't know what else. That's all the analogies I have for that. Unfortunately, I'm kind of tapped out with my sleep loss. But yeah, so I mean, it's, you know, he still gave it an effort, but in the end, things just broke too badly for Emigor and too well for Sigismund. And now we're looking at a GG, to be honest.
Yeah, it's all she wrote. I'm sure he's got all those traps. They're probably sitting in his hand right now, finally. Or worse, they're still at the bottom of his deck, all one right after the other. Sometimes that happens. But yeah, I mean, this would be a miracle if there's any way he could even come back. I don't think that's possible.
Well, he's trying to make a go at it, but no. Yeah, there we go. That's it. The Alden comes down, and
game over. GG.
Woo. Okay, so that was a pretty brutal showing. And remember, Victor was able to take the first game, a game from the Outlaws the last time, but I mean, it was down to the wire, and it wasn't against Aramia. It was against Tala. So I mean, again, Aramia is probably the best way to play that deck, just because of her ability and the access that she has to be able to pull back, items. But I mean, all of them worked well with it. But this was going to be the toughest challenge, and I don't know. I mean, he still has chances to push this to a second series. This is only game 1.
So it's best out of 5, and we're well on the way to it. It's nice to see that. I mean, because is one of them? Are they in Asia? I mean, it's got to be brutal. Or where are they? Where are these players located?
Honestly, I don't know. I mean, I know a few locations for the players that are in the U.S. And obviously the KA members. They're in Asia somewhere. But I mean, other than that, this game is worldwide. I mean, I know. I won't say names. I don't want to put people out there, but let's just say I know people that live in varying parts of the U.S. from coast to coast. I've spoken with people in India, spoken with people in Russia, and I think Latvia, I think is the name of it once. Australia, England. Ian, everybody knows Ian with the game's main coder. He's in the United Kingdom. So, I mean, this is literally a worldwide game.
I love that. I love anything that makes the world a smaller place, that brings people together. There's enough hate in the world, and if we're going to hate each other, let's just hate each other's heroes when we're playing. But it really does bring people from all over the world. I've met some amazing people from Wales, from the UK, even a fellow player it's been years and I don't even remember his name, but right down the street, somewhere here in Las Vegas. But that is rare. Most of the people are all over the world, and it really brings people from all over the world together. That's one of the things that I really, really enjoy about Shadow Era. Yeah.
Oh yeah, no, it is. That is a great thing about it, and they don't have the translations in effect yet, but I'm sure that's going to be something moving forward that John will be able to look at. But right now, he's just got to make sure that the game is stable, that it's growing, and then you can do the translations later on. I mean, you got to make sure you have the product even available before you translate it, right? You jump into too many things. I know that was an issue with the prior ownership. The gentleman that created the game, he wanted to have a physical card game. That was a big focus of his, and that took away from a lot of the potential this game had to grow as a digital card game. And all the focus on the physical, it kind of hampered what he was able to do digitally. And I mean, honestly, yeah, physical card games are fun. Everyone likes to play the physical card games, but digital is just so easy for everyone to play. It's so accessible. You can play it anywhere at any time. You don't have to organize people to meet with, to be able to play with. You don't have to go to events. You can be at work on your break time, on your lunchtime, say, hey, let me pop out a couple games and then get back to work, or be watching your kids. You kind of keep an eye on them on the side and playing the game. Like, then you hear something crash. Oh God. But you can always play, and that's the best thing about the digital playing. And the focus should have been there, and I think the focus is there with John and the current management. I mean, he knows what works right now, and he's looking forward to making this game better. And speaking of game, I think we're ready. We're gonna go ahead and check out Sigismund and Emigor's second game. So we're going to be having Tala as Sigismund playing Tala this time around. And he looks like Emigor is going to stick with the hunter theme. He's going to be playing Baduru. So Baduru versus Tala. The only thing I don't know is, does Tala carry Smashing Blow? Actually, I can know. I can look at the decks. I have them right here on my computer. Let me see. And no, Tala does not have Smashing Blow. I'm sure anybody who's watched gameplay up to this point would know that, because she's probably never used it. And that's the one thing. I don't mind giving out some instances of what's in people's decks, because honestly, if you haven't scouted your opponent to see what they've played, that's on you, man. Okay, I'm sure everybody has at this point.
Yeah. Wasn't that your nickname in college?
What was that?
Wasn't that your nickname in college?
Smashing Blow?
Smashing Blow.
The good old days.
Zing!
Yeah, you know what? As long as you keep that between. Oh, we're on stream. Damn.
Oh, this is live.
Everybody knows.
I was
wondering.
Edit that and post.
Get it out of here. Okay. Oh, so this Baduru. All right. So Baduru has been making a lot of headway recently because of its resource destruction. As you just saw there, for players that don't know, the card that came out looked like a big old mouth, like ah. And what it does is it actually destroys an opposing ally's resource if they have resources equal to or less than you. So it's a great way to mitigate their opportunity to advance their gameplay, because I mean you need resources to do stuff, man. But the difference here is that with this deck, Outlaw deck, a lot of allies only 2 or less. So it doesn't really hurt too much. And then once you get Blood Frenzy in play, you're able to mitigate resource destruction because you're always drawing 2 cards. And so you don't run into the issue of having to sacrifice a card every turn and not getting anywhere, because you're always getting that extra card anyway. And right now, Baduru, trap in play, weapon in play, ally in play, Tala, hideout in play. And it's looking pretty good for Baduru. And maybe this is the type of Baduru that's needed to kind of counteract the Outlaw synergy.
Yeah, with haste and ambush, I mean it's brutal. And you know, put it back in your deck and draw another card and then drop a weapon. It just got rid of a ally that had 6 defense. I mean, and that ally gives you 2 times attack.
Yeah, it allows you to just swing twice with your weapon, but at the same time, Tala is not looking so hot. I mean, Sigismund had some outstanding draw in the first game. He got everything he needed. This game, not looking so hot. I mean, he's got the hideout in play, but he already popped, I think, 2 Bad Santas, and he has no Blood Frenzy in play. So he's kind of stalling out on draw here, and Emigor has a full hand, got his ability ready to go. He could make a big push to getting a solid footing in this game right here. Grundler's double, another spotter. Yep, another spotter. So he'll be able to attack into the ally, and okay, you see what he did there? He attacked with the Krugel into the hero. Maybe he would have done it either way, but he also did it because that allows him to have only 1 ally in play. And when you have 1 ally in play with the Grundler's double, that green bow, you draw a card at the end of your turn, as he just did.
That's right.
Only if you have 1 ally, though. If you have 2, you won't draw the card. So it's another sneaky draw engine. Not the greatest thing because you have to have only 1 ally in play, but it's still better than nothing.
I mean, sometimes it's that 1 card that makes all the difference. Whether it's however you can draw cards into your hand, that's going. I mean, it's necessary. Look at that. He's got 5 cards in his hand versus 2 cards on the other side.
Yep. Okay. So, I mean, Tala is struggling here. She's having a tough time. I mean, she played her ability onto her ally to give it a little bit of a health boost, but I mean, it's not going to live this turn. And this just, this is why we do best of 5, right? Because the first game, Sigismund had perfect opening. This game, look at him now. He's struggling. He did not get what he needs. But this way, nobody can say, hey, this person won out of luck. They say, hey, look, you both had a bad game. So let's see what happens moving forward. Because now you can just say it's a wash. You know, both players had a tough start, had a tough game, and now it's a best of 3. Let's see if Sigismund can close it out or if Emigor makes a push to force the second series.
Yeah, well, in my case against Emigor in round 1, I had 3 very unlucky games. Obviously, is the reason I lost. But that's neither here nor there. That was a couple weeks. That was a week ago. So still not over it.
Well, you know what? I tend to believe you because you know how to properly play Bobcat to gain haste.
Yeah. At least I know how to do that. No, it is always funny to see a pro do a misstep because we won't let him live it down. I mean, hey, mistakes happen. Sometimes you're just in the flow, and that's why sometimes you have to take a breath. And even I'll read cards sometimes as well. Like wait, let me double check, make sure that's what I think that card does. Especially now that I've been playing with new decks, So my apologies if I'm ever slow playing, but that's the reason. It's like I'm not used to it. Sometimes it's dangerous though to just whip it out there in auto mode.
Well, yeah, it is definitely dangerous to whip it out in auto mode. Do not do that. Do not just go out there into the world. Whipping it out in auto mode, you will get in trouble. People will call the cops on you. I can guarantee that. I
was talking about the card game, the cards in Shadow Era, but also really good advice. Yeah, don't whip it out in auto mode.
Yeah, again, flashbacks, right? Like trauma. So.
College, yeah.
Let's see what we got. Smashing blow on automatic.
Good old smashing blow. My friend from college.
Yeah, the one you don't want to turn your back on.
That's right.
Oh, okay. So what do we have here? Maybe we should get back to the gameplay instead of trying to get ourselves. Yeah, let's not get ourselves canceled, huh?
Tala. Interesting. Okay.
Oh wow.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So, no way. Okay, so no haste though, because none of the allies had haste. So unfortunately, not able to close it out. But I mean, look at this. Even with having not great draw and struggling for a majority of the game, it was still able to put a scare into Emigor there at the end. I mean,
it was.
It's just hanging on, by the skin of his teeth, and just barely. I mean, still lost, but I think it shows you that even though the draw was not optimal, and that it's struggling the entire game, even at the end, there was still a chance just because playing the Outlaws. And again, just as a reminder, I will make sure that I'm sure John is going to make sure to post all the decks, deck codes, so you can give them all a shot. We'll try to get it posted on all the social media accounts. Definitely, again, try to get it posted onto the forums. That's the one thing you can count on every year. I know the forums are a little dead, but I mean, you can still go there to see some things. And after every World Championships, you can surely go there and find the decks, usually from just the top 8. It's kind of an undertaking to post all of them from the top 32. But I think most people just want to know what the top 8 players were playing anyway. At least that would be my take.
Yeah. I what a great way to be able to construct a deck. Just grab that code, load it, and it'll tell you if you're missing any cards. You can always buy them from the merchant, and you're using in-game funds, gold that you can just win. So again, you don't have to spend any of your money. It's nice if you do. Please, support the game. But yeah, that's fantastic that you can just use a code, load it, and then you'll have a championship deck at your disposal. Right. What's next?
Okay, so they are 1-1. So of course now it's a best of 3. Emigor's chance to He has to win 2 more to be able to push this to a second series of best of 5. So can he? I mean, we know he can. I mean, he's going to rely on his Victor. He's dreading bringing that Elementalis again because it just cannot stand up to Outlaws in any way. So I feel like that's where his disadvantage is that he is always going to be massively behind when it comes to Elementalis versus any of these decks. So let's go ahead and we are going to check it out. It looks like Emigor is bringing his Victor. So it will be Victor versus Zana. Kind of a neutral matchup, maybe. I would say I favor Zana more, if only because she has the ultimate weapon in Shadow Era, the ultimate reset in Tidal Wave, which is everyone's favorite card.
Hate it. Yeah, Tidal Wave.
I said favorite, guy. Learn how to take a cue. Come on, man.
Yeah, favorite for other people. Not so favorite for me when you come up against it. And it wipes your board clean. Tidal Wave comes in, destroys all the allies in play. So you have to kind of balance that out. Like, how many allies do I put out there? I can't put them all out there. I got to keep some in my hand. Otherwise, you're going to come in and wipe clean with Tidal Wave.
Yeah, you got to be careful not to overextend. So it really adjusts your playstyle because you keep thinking, okay, how many allies can I play? I have 2. Do I want to play a third? Because then all of a sudden they're all gone. But at the same time, you have to think maybe he doesn't have it in hand. Maybe this is the only chance I'm going to have, or maybe this is my best chance to make a push. So it's all mind games, and it's really tough to make the right call. And right now, Zana coming in fast. She's got this 2, 3, 6 damage down already to Victor. And hey, it's all right. Slithering Viper comes in and says, all right, relax. Shutting this down. You need to chill out. And Chalice. Okay, so Chalice, this is going to draw a ton of cards because you draw 2 cards, you shuffle 1 back into the deck. So you effectively draw 3 cards because of Hideout, because it does shuffle your deck. And remember, with Hideout, as long as you shuffle your deck, you draw a card. So I'm going to see if we can watch it right here. See if we use it again.
There it is.
So 2 cards, and it goes back. You should draw 1 more. Yep, there we go. So, I mean, it only works when you have only Hideout allies, or as long as you don't have anything else. So that's why the last turn with Alden in play, he only drew 2. But this time he drew 3. And now he has the robes in play. Okay, wow, he's you know what he said? He said, you know what? I did a little bit of damage. Now I'm going to set up every draw engine available in Shadow Era, and I'm just never going to run out of cards for the rest of the game.
Amazing. Now, and in case people are wondering, somebody might say, like, well, why don't you just, if you have a great deck, why don't you just keep using it? In tournament play, if you win with that hero, you're no longer allowed to use that. Is that correct? How does that work?
That is correct.
So that's the reason that you won't see somebody just use one deck that's so powerful that you're like, oh, we'll just keep playing with that. Well, you can't, because once it wins, it's no longer eligible for play. He's saving his
because otherwise
his energy. He's saved up his shadow energy to drop the enemy down to 1.
Oh,
there's Tidal Wave.
Go. There's the first.
There's the first Tidal Wave.
So now it's. No, go ahead, Vato. Go ahead.
No, I was just gonna let people know you can only have up to 4 cards of the same card in a deck. Some people run 3, some people will run the full 4, but you can only have up to 4 of the same card. Same thing, like, well, if that's such a great card, why don't you fill your deck with it? Well, balance, but also you're limited up to 4 cards.
Yeah, so now it's just how many is he running? 3 or 4. Mm-hmm. And even that, even if you know how many he's running, do you know whether or not he had to sacrifice one early? Maybe he drew heavy in the tidal waves. Maybe he drew all 3, all 4, and was like, I can only hold on to so many of these because I have to actually play the game and not hold 3 tidal waves, 4 tidal waves in my hand. So he could potentially have lost 2 of them already. Maybe he only has 2 left. or 1 left. So you never know. And those are the mind games that Tidal Wave does to you, though, and how it keeps you from advancing your strategy to win your game.
And that's the thing, you never know, because it's all random. And it really is random. You never know the distribution of your cards. I mean, for all you know, all your tidal waves are stuck at the bottom, one right after the other, or hopefully they're evenly distributed and you at least pull one, early in the game, because you don't need it right away, but you also, it's also nice to have it and have it ready in your hand. But if you pull 3 or 4 in that first round, you're probably going to, drop one. You're probably going to sacrifice one. And that's not always, a good thing. I'd rather have them evenly distributed throughout my deck.
Yeah, wouldn't we all? But sometimes it doesn't work out that way. And what does Victor have left here? So he can take out the Brigand, and the location finally does come down. It was a kind of late in the game there. Oh, Deepwood. All right, he played it first. Look at that. He learns.
Yeah, we're not going to let him live it down. In case you're just joining us, folks, in round 1, earlier the day, I think round 1, it was played backwards, and he wasn't able to gain haste. But hey, that's what happens sometimes.
He still won the game, so it didn't matter. But I mean, that's the kind of mistake that can cost you the game when you're planning for a certain retaliation tactic and it's not there.
100%. It can definitely cost you the game.
Okay, so he is going to draw, and so he draws a card, pulls an ally. Now he can get rid of the general. Oh, okay, now he's going to get rid of everything. But you know what? He saved his shadow ability. He didn't utilize it the previous turn to get rid of the Brigand. He knows that there's Kurt in the deck. That's going to be a big ally with a 7 health value. So he saved it just so he could make sure to get rid of him.
Maybe this is not a question for here and right now, but who comes up with the names, the artwork, and things like that? I think later on, or maybe we should do a monthly stream where we can interview the people that do this, because the artwork is beautiful, the names are so creative, and just it's just amazing. See, there he goes. He lowered it down to 1. Yep. And that's not damage. That is being lowered.
Okay, and it seems that there is an opportunity for people watching the stream to get shadow crystals. If they go ahead and give us their in-game name and share the video, turns out the boss is going to make their pockets a little heavier.
Does that include us? I mean, should I drop my name in there as well? I'm Sir Vato. I'm letting John know.
Geez.
Sir Vato.
Not you. Okay, come on, man. Give other people a chance to shine, Vato. Don't be taking everything for yourself. God, these Hollywood types, they're always like this. Always like this.
Hang on, I'm going to create a new account. Let's see. Penis de Milo is my new channel.
Copy that. I'm not going to say that again. But what I'm going to do is focus on what's going on here. Yeah, Emigor, Deepwood Bobcat, and then Hunter's Gambit. Pro plays all around. All right, so now he can take out the 2 allies, and then next turn he's actually going to be able to drop Kurt down to 1 to finish him off. So, I mean, it's looking a little tough for him, but it's not impossible. I mean, he's still going to drop Kurt down to the 1 health, and now it's just a matter of what kind of response Tala has. I mean, obviously you're going to have multiple 2-cost allies. Yeah, here they come. So these will come in, they will deal damage, and they will not be retaliated against, because location, again, remember, gives you ambush and stealth, or not stealth, ambush and haste. And I mean, that is a pretty solid board. But again, look at Zana, down to 7 cards. This is just how the matchup went against Tala. Remember, Tala stalled out because all the allies were dead. No more allies, deck was done, and now we have 9 health. This is going to bring back the Bobcat, and I'm guessing we're going to see Bobcat with a poison arrow.
There's the Bobcat.
Or a Hunter's Gambit. Okay, so Hunter's Gambit. Yep.
And you draw a couple cards with that. Is that not right?
Yep.
Yeah.
And then he's going to attack into Smuggler. And look at that. I mean, 6 cards in hand, or 6 cards in deck, 4 in hand. Oh, there's a poison arrow. I was 1 turn off on the sequence. He might have drew into that with the draw from Hunter's Gambit. So either way, hey, look at that. I still called it right in the end. But yeah, I mean, and then remember, Victor he still has yet to play a lot of his big boys. So he's going to have the Rhino, big horn power or big horn energy, Dragnus, and Visca in the hand. So eventually, oh, but another Kurt. Wow, I did not think he had another one. That is brutal. I mean, the other allies are not so much a factor, but that Kurt staring at you with 6, what is it, 5'7". Eesh, whoa, old man eyes, man. I couldn't read the 5. I thought it was a 6. Oh, here we go again. Hunter's Gambit. All right. So he's still making a play, and okay, so he threw it on the Kurt.
Interesting.
Yeah, he can't. I don't know. We obviously don't know what his hand is.
Yeah.
And he might have does he have a weevil tip crossbow in hand? Because if he has a weevil tip crossbow in hand, he could attack the Kurt, deal the 3 damage here, and then summon the crossbow to deal the final 2 damage. Oh, but he can't do it. Kurt has Defender. He can't attack this. Oh no, but Bobcat has ambush, so it's fine. Yeah, I think he was just double checking. I think he was making sure that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As you saw, the gameplay almost froze for a second, and he was checking. Interesting. Okay, he got rid of Alden. Is that Alden? Look who's doing the card names.
It took what, 10 years? Not bad.
Not bad.
I am curious as to why he didn't finish off the Kurt. I mean, I don't know what he has in his hand.
Right. Well, let's see.
Maybe he has a Soul Seeker. Maybe he's going to attack with a Soul Seeker so he can get the heal. But I still feel like he should have. I don't know. We'll see. So Soul Seeker, I feel would be the best time, if any, to bring it out. Kill off the Kurt. You're going to take 5 damage from Defender, but you'll heal back 3.
And that's what Soul Seeker does. Visca. Okay.
Yeah, I'm wrong. Okay. Maybe he doesn't have it yet, or did he already play it and I missed it? I don't remember.
I don't remember him playing it.
Going...
Soul Seeker, he's got the Weevil tipped. When Soul Seeker kills an enemy ally, you also heal 2.
3.
You heal 3.
Yeah. It's a solid weapon, and it's been around since the beginning. It's one of the original weapons of the game, I think.
Well, that's another great thing about the game too, is that they don't go away. If there's an update, if there's a new thing, all the original cards are still, they might get balanced, but they're still there for gameplay. Visca comes back.
Yeah, that's his second Visca, so he still I wonder if he still has big horn energy in there, or if he had to sacrifice him. Oh, and there's a Viper. Viper comes down, shuts down that final ally. And, we're seeing all the control options that made this victory possible the first time around. It's playing out very much the same way. As long as he's not going against Aramia, who just runs this style deck to perfection, he's able to kind of control gameplay. Oh, look at that. Tidal Wave. That's the second one? Second one, right?
That's the second one I've seen. So who knows if he still has 2 more. He probably if he didn't sack him, then he's probably still got 2 in his hand.
Yeah, either 1 or 2 for sure. So that would mean 2 of those cards potentially are Tidal Waves. And what are the other ones? I don't see enough damage in his hand then to be able to win the game.
Ooh, we got Mass Bandit back out.
I mean, that's one ally. But how many of those does he have?
We're going to find out right now, and then he's going to recycle it back into his hand.
Dalton. So it looks like I think he has more than 1 Dalton in hand, which is not good because it's unique. Because I felt like that came from a different spot in his hand, but let's see, Soul Seeker. Rhino. I feel like the Rhino is going to come running in.
When you said it's unique, does that mean that he can only play 1 at a time? There can only be 1 on the board, or what?
That's something. What you mean? Yeah, no, good call, Vato. Good call. So so anybody watching this, in the card description, some of them say unique, and that means, of course, that it can only have 1 of that card specifically on the field at a time. So Dalton, the 2/2 ally just got shuffled back, is a unique card, so he can't spam the board with 3-4 of those at once. He can only play 1 at a time. So the cards that have more troublesome abilities or are a little stronger than they should be for their cost,
generally have that unique status on them.
One of my favorite cards, it was a Thaddeus Death Mage, same thing, unique. One of the Woven cards, that steals a card from your enemy, unique. But you still want to have 2 or 3 in your deck. You can always sack one, but because you want to try and get to that card as soon as you can. So, now I understand why unique is important, because you're right. These are cards that are a little bit more powerful, maybe than they should be, for the cost, and it really balances out again. Because otherwise, you could just spam the board with them, and what's going on? Let's go back to
But you see, what's happening here is Emigor is just not playing anything. There's no reason for him to, because Sigismund is out of cards, and so he's just passing every turn, and Emigor's gonna lose, or Emigor is gonna win just simply that because Sigismund is gonna eventually die from no card draw.
And of course, you can heal.
I mean, I don't know how long he plans to keep this up.
I think it's GG, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, to be honest, I feel like we might have found a bug.
Want to draw? Interesting. Could there be a draw? I guess there can be a draw, right? But I think he can just win it, can't he? Or if he puts an ally out there, he's got Tidal Wave, right? Is that what he's afraid of? Can he just throw something out there?
Well, also, Sigismund does have a couple allies. So anything he does play, it's going to get taken out. Yeah, no, I'm going to win.
No.
Because he will win.
This should be my win. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of time.
And what, a trap card? There we go, trap card, yeah. So, buff. Yeah.
I agree, but you're just passing the turn. LOL. Yeah, that's all he needs to do.
So here, Zana should be taking 2 damage actually every turn, because she should be taking 1 damage for her draw at the start of her turn, and then she should be taking another damage because the 1 damage should be activating the draw ability of the armor. So she should be taking 2 damage at the start of every turn, but she's only taking 1. So looks like a bug that nobody's found up to this point, but it's on full display here. See, there you go, Emigor. So he was just passing the time until he had his full allotment of shadow energy, so that no matter what his opponent played, he'd be able to deal with it. Hey, big horn energy enters the chat.
Big horn energy, which against your opponent's hero, it just deals the 2 damage, but he buffed him to 3. But again, I have nothing to play. No, you don't, Sigmund. No, you don't.
Oh! And there comes Camouflage Owen to kill Dalton. And I think that's the first time we actually got to see. Well, no, we got to see it a few times, but Camouflage Foe hasn't been making much of an impact. All right, yeah, and that should be it. So now every time he deals damage, it should be also causing additional damage because of the card draw. But I'm not sure if it's actually working that way. I think that might be something we have to look at.
Yeah, that might be a bug, because you're right. Every time he deals damage, they should be drawing a card. If he has no cards, it should be taking damage, right?
No, but I think it might just be that if you have cards in your deck, then you draw. I think that's what the card description is, actually. So as long as you have cards in your deck, draw a card.
If you don't, you don't draw, so you don't get a...
Yeah. I was thinking about it, and I believe that is the wording.
Yeah. Well,
okay.
Amazing. I was sweating that, man.
Emigor,
that's so exciting.
Yeah, so Emigor has pushed it to 2-1. So he has already won with his Baduru and Victor. So Emigor with Baduru and Victor out of the way has only Elementalis and Zana remaining. So I feel like, honestly, he's going to probably go with Zana because he knows Elementalis, unfortunately, is a dead hero in this matchup. Elementalis just doesn't win. I mean, he is ahead 2-1. So maybe play Elementalis. I mean, what does Sigismund have left? Sigismund still has Tala. Sigismund has Tala. Lowest and Zana. So you can still play these three, any of these three. I feel like Elementalis wouldn't mind seeing Lowest, because he has some steadfast allies that Lowest ability does nothing against, and you throw what is it? Exaltation on there, it makes it even worse for him. So I mean, but you don't want to go into Zana as Elementalis. And I'm not sure if you really want to go into Tala as Elementalis. So I still feel like the Zana is probably the better play, because those other two heroes are not heroes you really want to play. Elementalis usually suffers pretty badly against priests and warriors. Mm-hmm. And again, of course, just in general against the outlaws. So I feel like the pick here is going to have to be Zana. And I think, well, we'll see what happens. I mean, like I said, he still has the opportunity to play and see what happens. Maybe he gets a win with Elementalis, and then he focuses on Zana at the end. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think there's a right or wrong way to go here.
What are we at right now?
Especially being up 2-1.
What's 2-1? And who's in the lead right now?
Right now it is Emigor. Emigor is in the lead, 2-1. Yeah, so it might be a good chance to bring in the Elementalis. If he gets the win, awesome. He resets the bracket and they go back to one more best of 5. If he loses, hey, he still has Zana in play, and we go from there. And he also might be worried about a Zana versus Zanamir, but I feel like his Zana would do better, because he's not running an outlaw Zana. He's actually running a Zana that's a little heavier. It's actually a 60 card count Zana. So as long as he's able to get through that mid-game pressure that Outlaw starts bringing, can actually probably do pretty well. But I don't know. I haven't seen that kind of matchup yet. I haven't seen a standardish, little bit heavy Zana against an Outlaw Zana. And so, yeah, it looks like BP Emigor did choose Elementalis. So he's going to give it a shot with Elementalis and see what happens. Unfortunately, he's going into Sigismund's Zana. So,
yeah.
I mean, this might be the worst matchup you can play as Elementalis. 1, because it's Zana with tidal waves. 2, because it's Outlaw. I feel like this game could be over quick.
And just a little bit about these players. I mean, these guys have really been around a long time, and they're the top players right now, obviously, in Shadow Era. Otherwise, they would not have made it this far. But BT Sigismund, he's actually the 2018 World Champion. He was also runner-up in the 2019 World Championships. So, he's used to being here at the finals at the top of the game. So the stress isn't going to get him. He's the leader of the Black Templars Guild. He's won a wild card before. And so he's qualified for World Championships several times. And he hosts a lot of events. So, definitely join us. But yeah, let's get back to the game.
So we have...
Know about Emigor.
Yeah, well, what do you have about Emigor?
Well, from what I remember, let me go to my mind castle here. But no, Emigor, he's one of the oldest active members of the Blue Phoenix. He's played Shadow Era for 10 years. So he and I have been there kind of since the beginning. Obviously, he's found a lot more success. He's participated in the World Championships about 6 times. And 4 times he's finished in the top 8, and 3rd place, and once in 4th place. So he's he's saying this, not me. He's self-described as lazy, stubborn, and not flexible to learn pilot meta decks. And he's mostly bringing old, comfortable decks, which that's what he and I see eye to eye on. But then, you know what? This could be a red herring just to throw off his opponent. So, I mean, I don't think he's relying on an old, comfortable deck right now. He's really bringing the heat. So these two are just at the top of their game right now.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it shows with their positioning in the tournament. And so, okay, Focus Blast to get rid of the Pendant. Doesn't want him taking out any of his draw. Enchanted Robe comes into play. And see, the great thing here is Vermin, he's going to be able to utilize its ability to kill off one of those items. but he decides not to. I wonder what he has in store for his 4 resources. Nothing. Curious. I wonder what. Unless I missed something, I'm not sure what just happened on the last turn. I feel like he ended his turn with 4 unused resources, if I was seeing that correctly.
Why would he do that?
Yeah, well, there's a tidal wave. Okay, so I mean, he does have the extractor down. Hey, Paul, can you give us a voice check real quick?
Check. I was letting all our people know that we're on a live stream. I was gonna drop a little comment on our Shadow Era board, which that's another thing too. During organized play, during just regular general chat, you can always go into Shadow Era, communicate there with other people as well. You can send messages. That's great. There's also in-game messaging, so that you can set matches up, and they don't all have to be rated. You can always set up your own games. So it looks like, well, I don't, man, what's going on here? I know that it got the tidal wave early, and we got BP Emigor's turn. Drop a
Game is
comment.
turning out much like we expected. I mean, the tidal waves clear the board, the allies coming in hasted, deal with anything that Emigor plays. Hey, there's nothing surprising about this matchup at this point.
You kind of called it right before it even started.
Yeah, there's not many matchups in the game where you see it as basically an auto loss, but I feel like this definitely is about as close as you can come to one of them.
And it's nice to see people dropping in and watching these games live. That's another thing too. Even if you're not playing, you can pop in, you can watch the game as it's happening. Obviously, you're not privy to what the players have in their hands. It's not like World Series of Poker or poker on TV where there's a cam showing you what they have, which that would be interesting if we could do it on a delay. But we get to see, as soon as they play it, we get to see what they did have in their hands. So thank you all so much for joining us. The 2022 Shadow Era World Championships. Yeah, you kind of call this before you even started as to the way it's going. So I feel like I'm playing because obviously El Metalis is my favorite hero, and I feel like that's the way a game would go if I were there playing. Gold Lace Shield to buff them up and draw a card. I do like Gold Lace Shield because it buffs up one of your allies. If it's over 7, it buffs it up all the time, but if you are over 7, you also get to draw a card, so it's a nice little draw engine there. I think we're getting close to the end.
Seems we're having some audio issues on my end. I'm getting some feedback that's disrupting the stream. So if anything, I may have to excuse myself so I don't ruin the quality of what's left going on. See how things turn out. But go ahead and keep giving us some chat there, Vato, because it looks like we're able to notice it when you speak, whether or not it's actually still echoing.
Oh, okay. I wonder if it's on my end or your end, or if I need to do anything over here. Well, the game is over. Who won that one?
And that was Sigismund. So Sigismund has evened it up. So it's 2-2.
2-2.
Apparently it's good. Hopefully there wasn't an echo the entire time. Yeah, so Sigismund can take the crown with the next win, or Emigor can push it to another best of 5.
So it's almost over, or it's going one more round of 5. But this has been exciting. This is so exciting. I'm so glad to be a part of this. It's either going to be over in the next game. Looks like the game is set up. BP Emigor has set the game up, and just waiting for Sigismund to join. And then, if you're wondering about the soundtrack, that is part of Shadow Era. It has a beautiful, fantastical, if that's the word, music, which, if it bothers you, you can always mute it. But I think it adds a little excitement to the game and a little atmosphere. So it looks like the game is about to start. We have BT, Black Templars, Sigmund, and BP, Emigor. And I should find out before I say what BP stands for. But it's another guild. And you add it to the beginning of your name, whatever guild you are a member of. And it's just another element to the game. And it's always nice to represent your colors, if you will.
Yeah, the one thing that we didn't touch on that I totally forgot is the bands, right? Each player, at least into the reference, the importance in this matchup. So the fact that we are seeing again, it looks like Emigor playing Elementalis, says that Sigismund said, you know what, I'm getting rid of Zana. You're going to have to win a game with Elementalis against me. And so that is why he's playing Elementalis again, because he can't play his Zana. It was banned. And so this leaves Emigor in a real tough situation now with Elementalis going into Tala and trying to get a win with Elementalis against these outlaw decks. I can't believe I didn't mention it at all before, but this is shaping up to be a pretty tough ending to the tournament for Emigor, having brought Elementalis with his just dire weakness to outlaws and all the haste and ambush that come at him. And well, let's see if it turns out any different this time, but we are in the game, and I mean, this could be it. This could be the crowning game.
Yeah. What do you think he should have played?
Well, you know what? I'm gonna say the only person that called this right is the potential champion in Sigismund, bringing all outlaw decks, every deck outlaw. Because that is the one thing that is gonna. Yeah, I mean, why not? It makes the most sense to bring nothing but outlawed, because they are. I mean, there are new cards. They were just introduced. Obviously some balancing is required with either the cards themselves, the location, or the artifact, the hideout that allows draw. But something is probably going to be toned down. Usually it is every World Championship. They decide to rework some cards. We'll see what happens. But yeah, I feel like I can't fault Emigor for choosing any of the decks he did. He's in the finals with a chance to win the championships. It's just a matter of will his choices be enough to overcome what everybody knows is the most solid deck, or at least the most solid card composition in the game.
Well, not for nothing, but I'm a fan of Elementalis, and I'm a fan of Emigor as well. Obviously I have to stay neutral here, but I've played him in round 1. He of course won, but he was so very helpful and so nice, and just I mean, I'm not a newbie in the game, but I am a newbie to the tournament play. But it was nice to play against someone who really put time and effort into helping me, join the games, how to do it, how to sign up, all that. So thank you, Emigor. I want to make sure I shouted him out for that. And I would love to see an Elementalis deck take the championship. But I don't think it's going to happen. But he did just get rid of. And you know, once they're gone, they're gone. They get exiled. So I don't know. Maybe he's onto something here.
At this point, he's already behind. That was kind of a last-ditch effort just to make things seem potentially relevant. But to be honest, this game is over. It's been over for at least a turn or two. He has no way to make any allies stick on the board. He has no draw. He has 2 cards in hand. This game has been over probably since about turn 4. Unfortunately, this matchup is just not something Elementalis probably could ever win. We're probably looking at maybe 98 times out of 100 he loses this matchup. I mean, and I'm probably being nice.
So 100%. How dare you? Why do you hate Elementalis so much? No, it's that the outlaw deck is. I mean, it's just so powerful and so well constructed. Again, you know, these are the top 2 players right now in Shadow Era, so they're also thinking. You know, I'm sure they were thinking at a deeper level when they were constructing their decks. But that's kind of amusing that it's all outlaw, different heroes on Sagamon decks. Yeah, I think this is all she wrote.
Yeah, it's been. I mean, you kind of knew it going in. Kind of an anticlimactic ending, unfortunately, because Elementalis unfortunately had to get beaten to death live on stream 2 games in a row. And everybody's going to be like, "Oh, I don't want to play that hero. That hero's terrible." Like, no, it's really just possibly the worst matchup it could have. It's really all it is.
It really is. It really is. Yeah, it's. So I guess we are crowning a new champion.
Oh yeah, he is. I believe this is the. I don't unfortunately know the history well enough to know if there was a Black Templars champion in the past, but. There is one now. I'm sure people will be able to. Oh, look at that! To going out like a man with an energy discharge. You don't get to land the finishing blow on me. I land the finishing blow on me. I'm gonna smash and blow myself.
Suicide. Smash and blow myself.
That sounded terrible, didn't it?
Or horrific.
All right. Well, that is the conclusion of the World Championships for Shadow Era 2022. Like I said, we're at the end of February, but what the hell? We had to get it done. We're glad we could get it done. We're glad the game's still around. And Sigismund showing us that sometimes the simplest answer is the best answer. Constructing 4 decks based entirely almost the same at every level, and knowing that it was the most consistent and the most optimal play to do. Other people overthought it maybe. He said, like you said, keep it simple, stupid.
Yes. Well, but it shows you the versatility there of this outlaw, of the outlaw deck, that it could basically play with any hero. It seems like. I mean, it'll be interesting to see if he can do the same thing when we do a matchup where you can't use the heroes that were used in the championships, but rather heroes that were not used. I wonder if that will also work just as well. I mean, is it dependent at all on the hero, or is that outlaw deck just so strong that it doesn't? Who cares what hero it is? It's going to win.
Yeah, outlaws, you know, in life they don't discriminate. They're not racist. They care about green money. You know, they don't care what color you are. In the game of Shadow Era, outlaws don't care what color you are either. Whatever hero you want to play, hey man, we're with you. As long as you're paying us, we're gonna take you, on the way to victory, and that's what was showcased today. And yeah, a lot of people, there are some people fighting against any kind of changes to it. I was always in favor of changes. I think after this showing, you kind of have to lean towards the whole, hey, I think some things need to be done to take care of this, because it might be a little out of control. But either way, that doesn't diminish what the champion has accomplished here, what BT Sigismund has done. Because if anything, he was the only player to say, you know what, this is the way it should be. All outlaws. Nobody else did that. He was the only one to really say, this is the way to victory. This is the way to win the game, to come out the world champion. And literally, because this was a worldwide game, we had people from all over the world. But I mean, yeah, he was the only player that said, hey, this is the way to do it. And you have to give him props for that. You have to respect him because he was the one that figured out the way to win. And he wasn't afraid. He wasn't afraid if people were going to say about him using only outlaw decks or whatever. He said, you know what? I don't care. I'm here to win it. I'm going to play this damn game for 3 days. I'm going to be here at the end on the top, smiling down at everyone else. And everyone's going to remember that I was smarter than you.
Yeah, bravo. Kudos. Very well said. I think Sigeman, he played it exactly right. You know, looking back, if hindsight was 2020, but he did the right thing. He played one deck, different heroes, and there's nothing in the rules that says you can't do that. So he figured it out, and it took him all the way to the champion, the 2022 Shadow Era World Champion. And you're right. This isn't like the Super Bowl where, hey, we're the world champions, but it's only teams from the U.S. This is truly an international game. So thank you for joining us for the World Championships of Shadow Era 2022. It's been so exciting. It's been so much fun.
It really has been. And just a shout out again to John, the new ownership of the game, Josh with Stumpy Pup Studios, who is actually doing all the broadcasting for this for the last 3 days. It's been fun. He's been great to work with. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe, etc., all that good stuff. Find the Shadow Era Facebook if you use that. Find the Shadow Era Twitter if you use that. Find the Shadow Era YouTube and follow along there. We'll try to make sure we include videos. We're going to try to get some more introductory videos out there. Unfortunately, the ones that are out there are kind of way past their prime and don't really show you a great way to enjoy the game as it stands now. But a small group of us here, we're gonna also be having some tournaments coming up. So if you can, join the Telegram so you can see what's going on there. They should be posted on the forum as well. So shadowerror.com, go to the forums, go to organized play, and under organized play, you should be able to find any tournaments taking play. I would say that's a good place to start. They usually like to communicate via Telegram though, so be prepared to maybe download that. Just keep an eye out because we're going to have a lot more content coming forward. A small group of us are going to kind of go over the winning decks. We're going to do some write-ups on it, what makes them good, what they're good against, not. And hopefully we can get that shared in multiple languages to not players that are already in the game, but just put out there on our social media accounts for Shadow Era so that players from around the world, if perhaps English is a barrier for them, they can at least look at this and read through it and have an understanding of the game. And who knows, maybe we'll be able to broaden the player base. But other than that, I think we're kind of wrapping it up here. I mean, we don't have too much more to discuss. I don't think I have anything else to bring in unless you do, Vato. If not, I'll go ahead and let you give the final word and sign us out.
Oh, wonderful, man. Well, first of all, I also want to say not only a shout out to, like I said, Jonathan York, the new owner of the game, and Stumpy Pup Studios for running this flawless stream. There was a lot of stuff going on behind the scenes, but they made it seem flawless. So I hope that everyone that tuned in enjoyed it and will enjoy it if you're watching this in the future. But Insano Mango, I want to say thank you so much for being an amazing host. And thank you for allowing me to be a co-host. I had so much fun, and it really, really deepened the love and understanding of the game for me. Your commentary is amazing. You really, really know the game. You know the technical side. I'm just impressed because you know the names of the cards. So I'm easily impressed. But you did an amazing job, and I just want to say thank you for that, and thank you for letting me be a part of it. If anybody would like to follow me, please just head on over to paulvato.com, and from there all of my social media is there. But more importantly, I want everyone to head on over to shadowerra.com and then give all of our social media a like, a follow, a share, and thank you Insano Mango for making this so enjoyable and such a fun 3 or 4 days of trading card action with Shadow Era.
Ready.
All righty, thank you guys, thanks for joining us.